There are two types of people in this world. People that care about Deadpool and people who do not.
This is ice cold. What's going on?
R-rated. Actual adult movie. It's awesome. And it's a comic.
Alright, we gotta figure this out super fast.
What?
There's no heat coming out of it.
Yeah, there's lights. Take two. Alright, welcome back to Flicks and Dicks. I'm Travis.
I'm Mike.
I'm Lisa.
And this week we are doing Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue in 1987, directed by... Damn it. Chris Columbus. Mr. Chris Columbus, 1492 Productions, because that's clever. Ah, you just now got that.
Oh, I just assumed that everybody understood that.
No, it's a dumb joke, and I think Chris Columbus thinks it's hilarious. That's what I think.
I'm sure he does. Why not?
I mean, really, what else are you going to do with your name if your name is Chris Columbus?
Oh, like Chris Columbus. Yeah, like fucking Chris Columbus.
Are you going to go explore something? Like, oh, there's that news person, Amelia Earhart. Yeah,
That's right, yeah. We have an Amelia Earhart. She does, what, the weather?
Yeah.
She does the weather.
She's up in the sky, you know?
She is actually the helicopter weather traffic person.
I remember being a kid, and, relatively a kid. 10 years ago, something like that, she was still doing her thing.
10 years ago, you think you were a kid?
Yeah, 10 years ago, I think I was a fucking kid.
You were 30.
Just. I was fucking 29, thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting there going, Amelia Earhart? Are you fucking with me right now? Like, was this a joke?
I thought it was good. So, Chris Columbus, good on you. This one's good.
This one's good.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
On the name thing, I think I would change my name.
Really?
I would not want to be known as Chris Columbus.
Well, that's why I changed it to Chris Columbus instead of Christopher Columbus, because that would just be dumb.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he could, drive his happy ass over to New York and say, "Hey, I discovered you bitches."
Maybe he didn't want to be associated as a racist conquistador, maybe. Just maybe.
Discovering shit that already lived.
Hey, what the hell? Yeah.
Do you know that he... Okay, so I'm just reading up on him here. So after graduation, he tried to sell his fourth script of Gremlins and had no success.
Oh, yeah, nobody wanted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote Gremlins, which is why Gremlins is on the backpack of that little girl, which we'll get into, but yeah.
No, I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's there.
Huh.
It's hysterical. So, how would you guys... What is this movie? I mean, how would you classify it? Is this like random kind of collage of...
No, here's
mishaps.
Here's how you describe it, because it was opening up, and my little brother, who was 17, was in the room, and he's like, "What is this?" Because he's looking at it. Opens up, with her dancing and
Elizabeth
trying on
Shue
clothes,
dancing in her
and
bedroom.
it looks like a total teeny bopper love story kind of action. And we're like, no, it's an action movie. Don't worry.
This is an action movie.
So we went, no, it's action, and both our son and my little brother stayed in the room, to enjoy it, because I said it was an action movie.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Got it. Okay, got it.
Shut up.
It's an action adventure comedy.
Comedy?
I'm not looking.
It feels like 20 different rejects from 20 different scripts put together in a movie.
Could be.
It's really weird. But I've got a theory about this, which we're gonna explore as we go on. But I got a theory about this, how this story is unfolding.
How does IMDb classify it?
IMDb classifies this as an amazing. From all the reviews on the user reviews,
adventure comedy.
Aha!
They classify this as an amazing piece of film. That's what they classify. All the user reviews are like 10, 10, 10, 10. I'm like, what? What am I missing here?
Really, I have 6.8 out of 10 is what it got.
I'm just looking through all the user reviews. I'm looking for a bad one. I think I found like one. This guy was like, it is what it is, whatever.
You got a beef with this movie, don't you?
Not really. I think it's Chris Columbus's first film. That's what I think. I think it's lazy. I think it
actually has it classified as action, adventure, comedy, crime, romance.
Why don't we just put drama in there? Why don't we put film noir? Why don't we put fucking anything?
You really do have an axe to grind with this one.
Yeah, you do. I'm waiting for it.
All right, so who do we got in this? We got Elizabeth Shue. We got how are you pronouncing this? Is it
Maya?
Maya Bruton.
Yeah.
Wonder Years. She was on an episode of the Wonder Years. I remember her from that.
And here we are again, Keith Coogan.
Keith Coogan. Welcome back to the show, Keith. Thank you very much. Keith, how would you characterize your experience in film? I consider it to be a monumental waste of time and other people's money. Thank you for asking, though. Well, Keith, thanks for coming by.
Wait, Keith,
drive safely.
I have one more question for you before you leave.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
What is it about your films that keeps bringing you back to Flicks and Dicks?
Oh, I would imagine it's because it's a piece of shit, and ripping on pieces of shit is funnier than ripping on actually good movies. I can't explain my actions.
All right, well, I look forward to your next film. Have a good one.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
That was
kind of
It's fun to have guests here.
Oh, it is. Yeah. No. Hey, everyone. Tune into Flicks and Dicks. Write in at Gmail, flicksanddicks@gmail.com. You never know who's going to stop by. All right. And then the last kind of principle here with a couple of honorable mentions. Anthony Rapp. Yep, he's in this.
He was the best friend.
Yeah. I know him from School Ties. That's about it. You guys ever
Just
seen
that little film?
No, I like the movie. I love the movie. In fact, I like him in it. I think he plays this amazing weasel. And I didn't even recognize him. He's got this like squinty, close-eyed thing going on, but I should have noticed him, but I didn't. I'm like, oh my God, that was Magoo in School Ties.
I feel like he would have shown up in Harry Potter somewhere.
Like, yeah. That seems like he would have if he was born 20 years later or something like that. Definitely.
Yesterday for you, though, right?
Just yesterday. I feel like it was just yesterday. I was 15.
Okay, speaking of way too old for the movie, what about Mr. Too Cool, Joe Cool, So Cool? So Cool. He's like 35, maybe 40.
Wait, are you talking about the car thief?
No, her boyfriend.
Bradley Whitford. He played Mike.
Holy shit.
Okay, yeah. So maybe Jodie Foster and him would have made a good pair, but pulling it off like they're 17.
Like, he's calling her a child, and he's like sitting there going, she won't put out, and this and that. It's like, what are you talking about? She won't put out? You're 35 years old.
Right, there's no way that he would
28.
Okay,
he was 28.
He wouldn't even have passed for 21.
Jesus.
You don't take a guy who's like balding and say, here, date this child real quick in a movie.
I thought you told me you loved me.
They had to have.
Holy shit.
I bet you they couldn't have cast somebody, and they're like, hey, you.
You're a bad guy. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Elizabeth Shue was 24 in this.
She's way too old for this. She's supposed to be playing a 17-year-old? She doesn't even look like a 17-year-old.
And you wonder why I had such strange expectations as I was growing up, going, I should be shaped like this.
Absolutely, because
we're
watching films and we're sitting there going, why don't I look like that?
I was so confused. And still to this day, I'm like, why don't I look like I'm 17?
Yeah. So she said she was 24?
Wow.
24.
Fuck me. And no wonder she's calling Keith Coogan a child.
Yeah.
She's like, you're just a child for crying out loud. It's like, well, technically we're 2 years apart in the world of this film.
Oh, in the film? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. They're supposed to be 2 or 3 years apart.
I thought he was off to college or something.
No, he was 15, she was 17.
No, remember? He says, you're going to college? And she's like, no.
Are you talking about So Cool?
No, I'm talking about Keith Coogan.
Oh.
She calls him a child.
No, I was talking about Elizabeth Shue and Whitford, the guy who played Mike, the boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I mean, there's a mommy-daddy situation going on there. But, I mean, yeah, when Keith Coogan's trying to make time with Elizabeth Shue, and she's like, what am I talking about? You're a child for crying out loud. Well, he's supposed to be 15, and you're supposed to be 17. What the fuck are you talking about?
Keith Coogan was 17 when the movie came out, and Elizabeth Shue was 24.
So yeah, that'd be nice and awkward. They created that nice, awkward. I'm glad they didn't like kiss in the end and make out.
What's awkward about a 15-year-old going after a 17-year-old?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a thing. But
it's the real life ages.
The real life ages.
That kind of makes it disturbing.
What is it with Keith being involved in these awkward time differentials?
I think the last one we had was that camp.
Camp Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you had
Jaleel White.
and he's trying to make
Jennifer,
out with
yeah.
the Jennifer chick, and they were like 10 years apart or some crap.
No, he was 13, she was 17.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That
and he's trying to be all smooth and shit. Better covered in Camp Cucamonga. Check it out. All right, so so let's run over these cast of characters. What do we think of their performance? What do we think of the character? Let's start with Mrs. Shue. Mike, would you like to take the floor on this one?
Absolutely loved her performance. It was phenomenal.
It was flawless.
It was top notch. It was Oscar material.
And she didn't take her clothes off at all.
It's Mike's biggest crush.
Well, you know what? They all exist. They're all out there. What can you do?
No, she was.
I thought she did really well.
Every single
I thought
person,
she could have given a shit.
Every single person that played in this movie, every single lead role, I thought was flawless.
Have you really noticed? Have you really noticed her reactions to some of the things that were unfolding in the movie, or some of the things that were happening?
She says so much with her eyes.
She's staring at them, going, "What am I doing in this film?"
I don't think so.
Oh, she's looking at that whole blues scene, and she's just like, "What am I doing here? What am I singing? What are we portraying?" Everybody, all the principals in that scene were sitting there going, "This is fucked up. This is crazy."
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't either. I thought that was great.
I think she was phoning it in for the most part, and I know she's better. I know she's better than that. When she do Karate Kid?
84.
Yeah, so it was a couple years before this. I mean, I think she's like, "Oh, you need a teenager again." Well, I still got a couple years left in me as a teenager. Sure, let's go ahead and do this silly film. I mean, what motivated her to do this? Because money. Nobody else was available.
Money. She wasn't a big name actress.
Elizabeth Shue? No. She had done Cocktail. She had done Karate
Not by
Kid.
87.
When was Cocktail?
Oh Lord, Cocktail. Oh, Cocktail. She did the following year.
After this?
It released after this.
Well, yeah. So that's her transition to adulthood, right? I mean, Cocktail.
Yeah.
Cocktail is not dealing with high school anymore. It's like, yeah, no, she's
sexy.
But she still did in Cocktail. It was like this side boob, right?
Yeah, that was enough for me.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, that was that one random island waterfall scene, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's necessary. She had the same look on her face. She's like, "Why are we doing this?"
Have you ever thought that that's how she acts?
Yeah, I think that's how she acts.
I was 11 when Cocktail came
watched
out. That side
expression.
boob shot was phenomenal. At 11.
I think we're going to be talking about Elizabeth boobs.
I'm so sorry, hon. What were you saying?
I'm sorry. What? Boobs? Excuse me, boobs?
Stuck on boobs.
Yeah, this is where the dicks comes into time. All right. Perfect. No, I watched her eye expressions through this whole movie going, wow, she's good. She can say so much with just the flinch of an eye.
And her boobs.
Stop it.
I'm going to have to watch it again. And not the whole movie, because I don't want to watch the whole movie again. But
wow, you'll watch Camp Cucamonga 14 times.
I'll watch Camp Cucamonga all day.
Oh, God.
Camp Cucamonga. Oh, yeah.
No, I thought that Elizabeth Shue, all kidding and lusting aside, I thought she did really well.
She did quite a bit of acting with her eyes, but I thought it was disgust.
No, it was just subtleties. She's good.
Why bring that much in a movie like this? This is no different than like
because there's a huge difference between somebody who acts on stage and somebody who acts on film, and she can do those slight variations. And
she was trying to make a name for herself. That's why she would have acted well.
This is a European Vacation, National Lampoon type of situation where you're going to run into, what's this wacky scenario going to be? I mean, it's like that. You turn a corner and all of a sudden you're dealing with drug dealers. You turn another corner, you're going to be dealing with a car thief. You turn another corner, you're going to be singing the blues. I mean, it's one of those.
But I didn't feel like, really? Again, where when you're watching car chase movies and it becomes the longest car chase on the planet.
We're still chasing this guy.
Yeah, we're still chasing.
Yeah.
So this did not do that. Like, it didn't drag anything out.
I had a really hard time watching the blues scene. Like, I felt like that was like, oh, wow. I remember how long this is, and I'm going to have to sit through this whole thing.
That did really, really, really
feel forced.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and what about the character? The character, is she sincere? It's a strange character, and I think it was in the editing because there's a whole bunch of subplots or character developments just getting dumped. I mean, dumped. You're going to college? No! Thank God. Moving on. Never mentioned again.
Okay, I don't know how many times I have answered things totally frazzled. And she was frazzled. She was on the phone with her best friend, and she's hanging up, she's doing all this stuff, and she's trying to get them to behave.
That stuff was fine. Like
nailing her with questions where, my responses, they've been, my kids could throw out, you don't love me? And, I'd be like, no! But you just kind of answer stuff fast.
That stuff was fine when Keith Coogan's like, so do you like him a lot? And the little girl's asking the same thing or different questions, so she's answering the wrong person. I get that. I really do. But this whole lines, you have lines in a script for a reason. You're going to college? No. Thank God.
It could have been worse.
What was that for?
But it was said all fast. It was said within chaos.
During that night that I think it was me, I said, I love you. And you got, for whatever reason, you were frazzled, and you kind of shook your head a little bit, and then you looked up and you just screamed, "Fire!"
Yeah, it kind of my brain went click.
Are you writing a script of your life?
My life is a script.
It's not carefully timed. We all wish it would, right? We all wish we were in that.
I wish I was punny,
exactly.
Nice and on.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
We wish we were in a movie. We're not. That's why movies are funny, because you say the right thing at the right time.
Were decent for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and move on to Maya Bruton.
Sarah, gosh, she was great.
Oh yeah.
I thought she was really good.
I think she was the best character in the whole movie.
I could totally agree with that. I rail on child actors on this show quite a bit. I think she's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
She was in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2. Yeah, she's in Back to the Future 2. She played the little sister.
Oh.
Yeah. But she also she was also in an episode of Wonder Years. She played this the girl you don't necessarily want to date, but you're really good friends with, and you really get along well. So that was a boat of struggle or contention with Mr. Kevin Arnold, and he was trying to decide what to do, and she's trying to give him advice about dating this girl when she really wants to date him and all that. And it was one of those, it's a Wonder Years episode, what do you want? But I mean, I thought that's one of the more memorable. When I see her, I'm like, she's in this one. She's great.
I don't remember her in anything else.
No, she didn't do much. Yeah, she didn't do much. But
it's always the people that we love that don't do much.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It's probably because they're too fucking smart for Hollywood. That's and I say the really good actors are really, really smart. They are very smart. You have to be to understand the human condition.
That actually leave the Hollywood scene to continue their education.
Yeah, but once they're done, I mean, when they come back, are they any good anymore? I say a good example of that is Bran from the Goonies. Oh my God, I forgot his name. It just jumped right out of me.
Bran from the Goonies.
Yeah, the older brother from the Goonies.
Oh Christ.
Yeah, no, he was in No Country for Old Men and all that. No, he's fantastic. He's getting awards, all sorts of shit.
Men in Black 3.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was the young, sweet Jesus. The co-star. You had Will Smith and...
You know what? The second we start recording, we don't know a fucking actor's name.
I know. I've got Kevin Spacey, Dan
I want to say Tom.
So
it's not Tom. It's
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. I was Tom. Hey, Tom. I call him Tom. Yeah. I mean, he and I are tight.
He was just here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Tom.
You sound exactly like him.
Yes, this is exactly how Tommy Lee Jones sounds.
In real life.
Is that Tommy Lee Jones? I was getting mixed up with
Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
yeah, Tommy Lee. He's a musician for what, Guns N' Roses or something?
Motley Crue.
Thank you, honey.
Was that Tommy Lee talking, or was that Travis talking?
No, this is Tom. I prefer Tom. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are moving on to. Oh yeah, how's her character? You liked her character?
Are you talking about Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought she was great.
All right, so I think she offers a lot. She's in peril when she's supposed to be. I think she's got a lot of good quips.
Maya Bruton as Sarah, I thought, was awesome. I thought she did a great job.
She had a lot of good lines. And
well, that's not credit to her.
No, but in terms of delivery, I think that is a credit to her.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Now that's the weird thing with child actors; they know what they're doing. Do they know what they're doing? Can they internalize, process, and then interpret a character? I don't think they can. I think they can mimic what directors say, or the director says, "Just go and act like yourself." Maybe. That's why I don't give child actors that much credit, because I don't think they're really acting. I think they're being a parrot.
I think she's just a fun-loving tomboy in real life, and it cracks me up every time she would stand between two of the actors and look up at them with that, like, that mischief, it's just great.
Oh, Thor, God of Thunder. Fucking funny.
I thought it was,
fucking funny.
I loved that scene.
I mean, I could watch that little delivery over and over and over again. I want to see it as a meme on Facebook. oh, Thor, God of Thunder. Fucking funny. All right, and then let's go ahead and move on to Mr. Keith Coogan. Very weak in this movie. I hated looking at him. I hated listening to him.
He was really, really annoying.
Miscast. That is miscast.
I don't think so. I'm sorry. You cannot have the pretty boy always starring in a movie.
Oh no! I just thought his character was the way he played his character.
They could have combed his fucking hair a different way. Jesus Christ, he looked disgusting. I mean, if he's supposed to be an awkward teenager, they sure as hell got it. But it doesn't mean I want to look at it on film.
He is the character where you can say something like zit cream to him and don't eat that because you're going to get zits. You can say that. You can say that.
You can also make derogatory homosexual references too, and that's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's 1987.
Jesus, what's wrong with these people? We grew up on the TV version, and the TV version sure as hell did not have that.
No.
We grew up on the TV.
And it always surprised me when I go to watch the movies today, and you have us rewatch these, and I'm like, what?
Whoa, what are you talking about?
Oh, you guys probably didn't realize there was language in it
probably
either.
Holy shit, the language. Lots of potty mouths. Much like this podcast, yeah.
I had it on VHS, so I saw it.
It is just Jesus Christ this and hell and shit.
But the Playboy was in the
Playboy was in it, but yeah, I mean, they didn't show anything.
One of my favorite lines, don't fuck with the babysitter.
Fuck with the... You know what's really weird? I was listening to this...
Don't mess with the babysitter. That's what we got.
Yeah, don't mess with the babysitter. Yeah. I was listening to Awesome 80s podcast. That's a shout out to Awesome 80s podcast. Funny guys, check them out. But listen to us first. Then check out Awesome 80s podcast. But
and then come back to us.
And then come back to us. Yes, because we're funny, and that's one of their opening. That's one of their opening sequences on the audio clips. Is don't fuck with the babysitter. I'm like, what fucking movie's that from? What? And then this is the first time I heard that line. I'm like, holy shit, that's where it's from.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't fuck with the babysitter.
Yeah, I never saw the watered down version.
Yeah, we grew up on water.
What was it?
Breakfast Club? I had no idea.
Oh my God,
I had no idea there was a whole weed scene.
The little gangbangers line before he says, "Don't fuck
with the Lords of Hell, or something like that." Yeah. Okay. Don't fuck with the babysitter.
All right, Cosby.
That's who you sound like.
There's a fellow by the name of Noah built an ark. No, no, I'm not very good at.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to cut that.
It was the greatest record that we had ever heard growing up.
We wore the shit out of that record.
That and there was like a Cookie Monster or something. It was some Sesame Street one.
It's not that easy being green, having to spend your time the color of the leaves.
We had Pink Floyd on record.
We had one of those Fisher-Price record players. I mean...
Oh my!
We listened to nice records on that record player. My mom always got real pissed off about us listening to nice records like Neil Diamond,
right?
Barbra Streisand, and listening to those on Fisher Price. Fisher Price record player. That's no good. So what'd you think of the character?
I thought he was great. I told you I think that all the principals were great. It was after the principals. Well, no. The car thief was great.
He was damn good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's another one of my favorites. Yeah. I think she should have just dated him.
No, I'm totally with you. I mean, she'd have to change him, but yeah. What's that?
Who was the car thief?
I can't remember what was his name.
I forgot to put my honorable mentions down, but he was definitely one of them.
Oh, he should be the #1 honorable mention.
Oh, yeah. No, he did a really good job. It's like walking into, sitting there going, well, this is a fucking crap movie, but I'm going to do my best.
It was refreshing. It was great.
Yeah. The car thief with a heart of gold. Yeah. Now, notice we're talking about the car thief, and we're not talking about Keith Coogan's character.
And we're not talking about the best friend.
Useless. Fucking useless.
He did obnoxious well. I mean, if he
wait, no. Are you talking about Magoo?
Yeah.
No, he was fine. Oh, he was totally funny. Oh, he brought it. And I loved watching him. In fact, we're going to talk about Anthony Rapp here in just a second, but fuck yeah. You know what? Why don't we just go ahead? Because he's a hell of a lot more interesting than Keith Coogan.
I'll talk about, Keith Coogan real quick. Okay, so I've seen it before. Man, shoot. Okay, so here I was. I was back in middle school. I had already moved away from our small town, and I went back for a party, and there was this one guy who was like, hey, I think he got up the guts since I moved away. And so I remember the yellow rotary phone that he had called me on at my friend's house. And he's like, so we're all going to this party. Will I see you there? Or do you want to go with me? And I was like, no, I'm not going to go. So I went, not thinking that he'd show up because he said he wasn't going to show up. And the way that he stood in the corner and stared at me while I had fun was the exact same way that Keith Coogan stared at Elizabeth Shue every single time she was talking to another, when she was slow dancing with that guy.
That's that creeper shit where you're sitting in the corner being like, imagining we're married and we have 3 children, and I'm imagining her saying that she loves me and cooking me dinner. It's that kind of creeper shit. That's where I'm putting
her in the waterfall.
That's not what they're imagining. The look is, I can't believe you're here having fun. You could be with me now. I've got nobody. I mean, it was such a.
You could be here over here not having fun with me.
Yeah, I don't ever want anybody to look at me like that. And that's how he was looking at her, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I've experienced this, and it's horrible.
What's really fucked up about douchebags like that? You're gonna sit there in the corner, not having fun, not talking to anybody, and then you're gonna get pissed off because your date is having fun and is talking to people.
We all know people like that, though, so it's not.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, so that's Keith Coogan.
Yeah,
I thought he was kind of creepy.
He had a creeper look, man.
If his character was supposed to be whiny and creepy, he did it beautifully.
I'm gonna go ahead out here on a limb, Mike. I'm gonna say it wasn't supposed to be creepy. It was supposed to be endearing. That's what I think it was.
I really just think that he was just meant to do Stridex commercials, and that was kind of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If his face ever did clear up, which never did. Which is probably why
he just lost half his hair, but
he's not doing anything now, right? I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's definitely a candidate for one of those Facebook memes. It's like child actors who grew up weird, and I think Home Alone kid, he's definitely in that camp.
Oh, actually, no, he is still very much so acting.
He's doing stuff.
No, he may be doing stuff, but he
not
ain't
doing
cute.
Stuff.
He ain't cute.
No, he's fine.
He also Sixth Sense kid. He looks. He doesn't look rough, but he looks a lot different. Yeah,
he does. His eyes never moved apart. His eyes didn't grow.
Yeah.
God, you
can't
nail somebody for their looks. You are born with your looks. Stop it. You're promoting plastic surgery and all that crap. You're born the way you look. Okay, so you can act differently.
I get you, and plenty of people do, but plenty of people also they age well. And I think that comes down to health and everything like that. And when you look at guys like the Terminator kid, the Terminator 2 kid, he did not age well because he was unhealthy.
That Anthony Rapp kid, the best friend in the movie?
Yeah.
He aged really... He was a good-looking dude.
Yeah, that was a good transition.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen didn't age a fucking day.
I think she did.
I mean...
Did you watch her on that White Collar show?
Yeah. I've seen her on that.
She looked like a soccer mom.
Yeah, she does. Show. She really does. I remember when she was doing
really attractive, but
I remember she was doing her breakout on it was 90210, and so it was her first episode where they introduced her character and
the original 90210, the original the crap that they tried to come back with.
Totally, yeah.
I enjoyed the crap. Thank you.
And then all of a sudden, at the very end, last shot of the last the episode, she brings up a joint and lights it. So I'm like, even as a kid, I'm like, oh, she's supposed to be the bad girl. Got it. Oh, got it. Because Tiffany Amber Thiessen doesn't want to be the pom-pom cheerleader anymore.
From Buffalo? Like, that's what her character was?
Yeah, she was supposed to be, like, from out of town. Or like
she was visiting from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, some kind of bullshit.
It could have been worse. She could have tried to go on and do Showgirls. Like her co-star from Saved by the Bell.
Jesse Spano.
You know, I think she's finally come back. She's finally come back. I think she's finally come to terms.
God, what the hell were we talking about?
We were talking about Adventures in Babysitting.
Starring Keith Coogan.
Adventures in Babysitting.
All right, so
doing podcasting in a garage.
It's going to take us a month of Sundays to get through this cast of characters here. Anthony Rapp.
Yep, we already... hey, you know what? Once I realized who the fuck he was, I'm sitting there going... He was the bad guy in School Ties, and he did a phenomenal job in that. You hated that little weasel, but you respected his performance. It was really good. And in this movie, he's refreshing. He's the levity. He's the humor. It's everything. He's bringing a lot of stuff to this movie.
He's actually done some pretty big movies.
No, I mean, he had some of the classic lines in School Ties. He's like... yeah, he was a racist. He was a bigot. Yeah, he was a bigot.
Sadly, he was in Road Trip as well.
Yeah, that's great.
How many movies have we done where there's a Mr. Anderson?
Mr. Anderson.
Just about all of them.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Anderson in this. It's the dad's name.
You know what? That's got to be one of those book. We've talked about this before, like a bookmark name.
Yeah.
The Preps in Airborne. That's definitely a bookmark name. The Preps.
All right, so Anthony Rapp, I thought he was pretty cool. He was a kid that I would have hung out with.
He's definitely a kid I would have hung out with. Oh yeah, because it's like he's not suave enough to be a part of the cool crowd, but he's not he's too extroverted to be a dork. Keith
Coogan, I don't want to stoop to your level. What's an Anthony Rapp? I will.
And he
kicks dude in the ass and shoves him into a table.
It takes a really big man to kick somebody from behind. I mean, I'm just saying. That's all. Yeah.
Dude was almost 30. Do you want? Would you have gone face to face?
I'll bet they called cut, and that actor turned around and was like, "If you fucking kick me that hard on this next shot, I will take you down. I will take you down to Chinatown. I'm not even kidding you, little shit." It's like, oh, you're so cool.
All right, so we had Anthony Rapp, the car thief guy, Calvin Levels.
Guy was great, absolutely great.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of cheesy at the end, but.
No, he had that slight smile.
He was delivering lines, and I was okay. He had a very charming smile.
Oh,
yeah,
he really did. It was too charming for what the character was that he was supposed to be playing. I thought.
Yeah.
It kind of bothered me that he punched out a mobster, so he's dead.
He's dead.
He's fucking dead. I mean, dude, you're moving to the Midwest, okay? You are moving to Nebraska, and you are assuming a different identity.
Yeah, and saying, let's just leave him out there for a little bit.
Don't you remember the funeral scene? Don't you remember the funeral scene in Adventures in Babysitting 2?
Yeah, poor guy, poor car thief guy. You know, he was well loved, but he did punch out a mob boss.
Yes, he did. There were a lot of big names in this movie.
There were a ton.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Thank you. Oh my God, what the fuck is he doing in this movie?
He's Thor with his.
What the fuck is Vincent D'Onofrio doing in this movie?
To his trucker cap.
I watched this movie and I looked at him. I'm like, oh my God, he's somebody. And then I looked it up, and I'm sitting there going, "Holy shit! Full Metal Jacket."
Okay, but he was.
He's Private Pyle. Yeah. What is he doing in this movie? It was right after Full Metal Jacket.
He was the worst actor in this movie.
No, I thought
that was a cameo role, and he was asked to come in to film for a day.
Well, he didn't do a good job.
So which movie came out first?
He was a bouncer, by the way.
Full Metal Jacket or
Full Metal Jacket came out first. If you can fucking believe that.
They were the same year, though.
Yeah. He did this right after Full Metal Jacket. Nice. And he did phenomenally in that movie. In fact, the second I found out who it was, I'm like, I would just watch Full Metal Jacket just right afterwards. I'm like, I'm watching this fucking movie.
That movie has one of the most difficult scenes ever for me to watch.
That movie has a lot of difficult scenes, yeah.
No, there's just one where I actually had to. I plugged my ears, closed my eyes. I mean, I was.
What scene was that?
I think I was a preteen when I saw it, though.
Well, it was rated R. You probably shouldn't have been watching it anyway.
Well, my dad had us watch it because he said that it was pretty damn true to life.
A Vietnam flick? Yeah, absolutely.
The whole boot camp.
Yeah,
bit, where going through training and everything.
Yeah.
My dad said that was pretty fucking spot on. You know, there were some scenes where he's like, okay, no, that wouldn't have happened. But
really, what scenes? Because they were trying to go for some pretty serious authenticity on that.
Full on beating the shit out of your recruits.
You could hit them.
You could hit them.
You could hit them.
Most of them were
at that time.
Most of them were hit. I think that was what my dad went off on. But no, my dad said that was one of the most realistic boot camp
Sergeant Gunny, and another Flicks and Dicks memory here. He was in Toy Soldiers, Sergeant Gunny.
In
Full Metal Jacket.
I'm like, who the hell was he in Adventures in Babysitting? No, it was the towel party.
Yeah.
With D'Onofrio crying, sobbing as they're pinning him to his cot.
Man, we stuck that donut in his face though, and he just starts chomping on it like a fucking boss. I love that. I was like, you know what? If I was in that situation, I'd be like, you know what? We've got to do it anyway. I'm eating this goddamn donut. That's what I'm doing. I'm eating this, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
D'Onofrio's character in this, I really didn't care for.
He's playing a comic book character. Yeah,
so
whatever.
Cool
he gets a pass. Yeah,
even with his glued on gold locks to the trucker cap thing.
Completely glued on. That's one of those ponytail hat things. Yeah, absolutely. Any other honorable mentions?
Miller?
What's that?
Penelope Miller.
The best friend. In the bus station.
What do we give a shit about her about at all?
Yeah,
what did she contribute?
She was the whole reason that they had to go into the city.
Great.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of scenes with her. I'm like, what are we doing?
She's done a lot of movies.
Yeah, what she got?
Oh, shit. Well, let's look it up. I think she was in Awakenings, Kindergarten Cop. Okay.
What was she? Oh, was she the teacher? She wasn't the mom, was she?
She was the love interest.
Oh, my God, that's her?
She was the teacher.
Well done. Well done. I'd like to do Kindergarten Cop. I think there's a lot to that, and I know it's a Schwarzenegger film, and I know it's ridiculous in just about every way possible, but I don't know. There's something about that movie I really like. Let's go into the blow by blow on this movie. So before we get started, I'd like to kind of convey a note here that I've got, okay? Because I think if you're not with me now, you might be with me later, okay? I'm convinced that the motivation behind the tone of this film, okay, is to make a heightened reality of how suburbanite teens view the city. Okay? Everything is darker, more macabre, scarier, more desperate. I think it's a bedtime story. That's what I think it is. When you think about every single one of those scenes and every single one of those shots, it's a little bit more wide angle. It's a little bit more scary. It's like they're telling a bedtime story. Elizabeth Shue's telling a bedtime story to the little girl, and the little girl saying, oh yeah, and then this happens, and then we meet Thor, and then the brother comes in and goes, what are you guys talking about? And the brother's like, oh yeah, and then I do this.
See,
that's what I'm thinking.
The girl wasn't scared though, Sarah.
That's right. She was never scared. She wasn't
scared or intimidated by anything.
This is her fucking bedtime story, man. That's why I think this is a bedtime story.
That's kind of a good twist.
Yeah.
I like switching my
The more I thought about that, the more I'm like, that absolutely makes sense.
I can kind of see that.
She's hanging from the fucking outside of a 40-story building. Come on.
That's the only scene in the movie.
And then we meet drug dealers, and we meet a car thief, and then we meet the mobsters, all that shit. It's like, this is a yarn that you would just spin if you were trying to put some obnoxious kid to sleep when you're babysitting them.
Then where was Adam Sandler? All right, so the movie opens up. You've got Elizabeth Shue.
So he walks up to me and he asks me if I wanted to dance.
So, of course, I'm singing along. I'm singing along to this as I'm watching it. And our youngest and your little brother, they were watching. And when she's doing her whole bedpost twirling bit, all I could think was, she's now a stripper.
She's not doing a dance. Yeah, she's doing a dance.
The kids were watching this. But all of us were watching this, expecting the bedpost to snap. Yeah. and Elizabeth Shue to just eat shit on the floor. But
it's amazingly sensible for children to be like, you can't do that. You'd break the bedpost. Yeah.
Our children
Where are her parents?
Our children would know this because it's something they would do.
That's because you did them right. Right?
No, we just didn't give them bed.
We saw what they did with the trampoline.
Yeah, they sure did.
But we are in suburbia. And it's obviously a Chris Columbus production, so we're in Chicago. That's just where we filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they never really mentioned Chicago, it's all the city. Everything was the city. We're going into the city.
They did mention that it was Chicago.
Did they?
Not when they were going into the city. I mean, you figured it out later.
When?
There was a point that it was mentioned because I don't know what Chicago looks like. So Chicago
looks like that.
They said it at some point. I think in the
It was mentioned. It was mentioned. I don't remember where.
It had to have been by the car thief, where he's like, "Well, what are you kids doing down, or this downtown Chicago or something?"
I think the tow truck driver says, "You guys came out to the city. You must be from the suburbs." I mean, they just mentioned
it was said, and it was like towards later halfway through that they finally mention it.
I can't remember when they did, but it's all good. Yeah, it's totally all good. But we do open up on that dance sequence as a lot of funny parodies of guys on YouTube and things like that parodying this dancing, which is funny. But I do have to give the boyfriend props for personally showing up to inform Chris that he has to cancel so that he can cheat on her. Think about that for just a second.
Whitford, character Mike.
Yes.
He was a douchebag.
Of course, but he showed up personally, not phone call, nothing, to tell her that he has to cancel so he can go cheat on her.
I like that you say...
to find a payphone.
I like that you say no phone call, no nothing. Your options then were... phone call.
You could page him.
Handwritten letter.
I don't think you could page him in 87. 87.
No. I thought I could have sworn. No.
So it was phone call or handwritten letter. Or show up.
You're going to do a handwritten letter. I mean, that's some serious fucking planning.
So your only two options are a phone call or show up.
Dear Elizabeth Shue, I'm writing this to inform you that I have the flu.
Hang on. You're trying to play both. You've got the one who, as later in the film he points out, he mentions her knees are like sewn together. He's going with the one girl. With the one girl because he knows she's going to put out. He's keeping Elizabeth Shue's character,
that was another thing.
on the back burner because he's still hoping that she will.
That's another thing that I didn't catch as a child. Knees sewn together. Like, that didn't even dawn on me.
That didn't dawn on me either. I'm like, why would her knees be sewn together? What does that even mean?
Yeah. I mean, did she look funny? Did she walk funny? Did she knock-kneed?
Yeah, she knock-kneed. I thought it was knock-kneed, Lisa.
Wow, I grew up in a very, very different area. I knew what they were talking about.
Mike, the bubble. Remember the bubble.
You guys did live in a very, very
I thought
small bubble.
It was implied that she was knock-kneed. That's why she got so incensed when he said it.
Her knees are just fine.
She looks fine. What are you talking about? She's walking normal. Why would they be sewn together? I don't understand. I have a note here that says Grandpa's dead. What the fuck does that mean?
What do you mean?
I have no idea what this note means. It means something. Grandpa's dead. Grandpa is dead.
Oh, the coat that she wore was her grandpa's.
It belonged to my grandfather. He's dead. And so I thought...
Just flings it. God, I love that.
That was a good one.
Oh, that's right. He just throws it to the floor.
I'm glad you guys picked up on this because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
No, she picked up on it. I couldn't figure out the one me.
That's a nice coat. It's my grandfather's. He has really good taste. He's dead. He just
throws the fucking thing. And, okay, but no, hang on.
Because he's awkward. Get it? He's awkward.
What was her reaction to it, though? She kind of looks back and gives him a side glance and just this big, cheesy, shit-eating grin. I'd have been like, fuck you, you little bastard.
Well, that's because he's manhandling her like she's a piece of meat.
But I did look back to see like how it landed, and it did land nicely over the railing. So
well, that's nice.
And she would have looked at him differently if it would have been on the floor.
Oh, we got beers. Nice.
You have two. You gonna share with the group? Or you gonna give it to yourself?
No, we already covered it.
No, we've watched movies that we've done on here before where the whole opening sequence was like, why are they telling this story to introduce themselves? I loved the intro and how they introduced the best friend. The only thing that was weird was the boyfriend showing up saying, "Just so you know, I can't make it tonight."
Just so you know, I'm cheating on you.
He's the only one that they awkwardly introduced into the story. I think everybody else was introduced flawlessly.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'll look at Magoo blowing on the glass any day of the week. I think it's fucking funny, and we've all done it, and I think we've all done it because of this movie.
Blowing on the glass.
I was happy.
Are you serious?
Watching this movie?
Just remind me.
Magoo shows up. He opens up the thing, and he says, I can't do it on the podcast. Window. He sticks his mouth on it and blows, which is fucking funny. It looks hilarious.
What reason I did?
I was just giggling. I'm like, I got to note this. I was like, I'm not buying Chris as a senior and Brad as a freshman.
I'm buying Brad as a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's totally a sophomore.
I'm buying Brad as a freshman and Chris as a professional with 4 years experience. That's what I'm buying. And then, of course, there was that, you go to college? No. Thank God.
Okay.
Why is that okay?
Moving on.
There's a lot of moving on. I'm going to hit a couple other moving on moments.
Yeah, like leaving the gangster dude outside the freaking high-rise window. I'll let him sit out there for a minute.
Moving on.
Like, holy shit.
They did. That was the first movie I could remember where it was a post-credit anecdote. It was a post-credit joke. That's the first movie I can think of that did that. Help me! This guy, that henchman, has done some shit.
Yeah,
and he's a respected actor in Hollywood. He's done a lot of good stuff, including a couple
why
bits.
Why didn't you bring him up in the honorable mentions?
I have no idea. Because I forgot his name and I don't feel like looking it up right now. But let's go back to Brenda for just a second.
Let's go back to, let's stay on track in the order of the movie.
Is this a thing with you, Lisa? You have to like just go linear? I mean, we can't just jump around?
It makes me confused.
Lisa, the more confused you get, the funnier you get.
That was Penelope Miller, right? Played Brenda?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, useless character
she looks
number
like
one.
Penelope.
No, she definitely looks like a Penelope.
Yeah.
And those glasses, those 80s glasses. I remember Tammy. She had glasses like that.
She sure did.
That was fucking funny. I'm blind. I need these to live. I'm confusing cats for rats. So Brenda's with the part of the introductory scene where she's like, yeah, if I just can't get out of my suburban house, I'll just spike my tab with strychnine or whatever the fuck she says, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she goes from that to, it's a pretty casual conversation about how she's displeased with the current suburban situation, to she's fucking running away. She ran away. All of a sudden, makes this leap.
It was strange to me that they didn't say, gosh, you always talk about running away.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing leading up to, but bam!
These are the problems I have with this movie.
That was fun.
I've seen this movie many times. Granted, the most recent time I could not stay awake to save my life.
But he watched it 2 weeks prior, so we're fine.
But no. I mean, it was 3 weeks.
I was trying to cover it for you.
I've seen this movie quite a few times, and for the life of me, I never can remember the moment where Brenda disappears from the group.
She just fucking ran away. She spent all her money on the cab there and ran away.
And that was it. She just ran off. Like literally just ran away.
She was talking to Chris, and then there's about 10 minutes in the babysitting sequence, and then she calls her up and says, I ran away from home. I'm like, what?
No,
why?
Here was what happened in between, because Elizabeth, she was supposed to go on the date, but then she didn't, so she was sitting there all, I just want to eat ice cream, and crying to my ice cream, and her friend is consoling her, and then she gets the phone call to go babysit, and she's like, oh, you don't want to go do that, but she's like, I'm going to go do that, so Chris leaves to go babysit, and Brenda goes not home. She ran
away.
She just went to the city and just ended up wandering around.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's one of those people. She's going to put herself in a shit situation and then demand that everyone she knows clean up the mess for her.
I never paid enough attention to her character to figure out.
I'm giving her character more credit. That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. So she's there. Brenda's at the bus stop, and she's like, there's a guy with a gun. Why was there a guy with a gun?
Why does she have the home phone number to where Chris is babysitting? Unless
people at that time knew phone numbers.
Oh, that's because they're like, hey, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be bored. They're going to be sleeping. Call me later.
Or maybe she babysat there before.
Oh, she's totally babysat there before. I mean, she's done it so many times because they trust Chris.
Oh, because we used to remember numbers back then.
No, I was saying
we remember numbers back
then. Maybe Brenda babysat the kids at some point before.
So nobody else had a problem with this guy flashing a gun to her for no reason.
Are you talking later in the movie or early on?
No, she's saying, come get me, there's a guy with a gun. And they cut over to him, and he's got a trench coat.
Wasn't that the same dude at the end when everybody's chasing Brenda out of the bus station, and you got the 2 security guards off behind him, and this dude just pulls his gun out,
flashing his gun,
flailing this gun through the air.
Pre 9/11, ladies and gentlemen, pre 9/11.
They couldn't have him
pre 9/11. They would have done something to the
guy. They would have done something. He's got a fucking gun in a bus station.
And he's just giggling.
I expected it to be like a squirt gun later on, or like have a little flag that
something.
It was a gun.
This is a moving on moment. Okay, this is an absolute moving on moment. We've got, you're going to college? No, moving on. All right. And then we've got, this guy here with a gun? No, moving on. And
but it created the urgency.
But they did come back.
Yeah, it does. So if you had a bomb, sure, you know.
At the end of the film, they came back to him.
It should have just popped out going around. Bang. It should have just done that.
So we're all of a sudden... We're at our first plot point. She says, come get me. So that is the impetus. That is okay, now we have to move the story forward. She's got to go into the city, and she's in kind of a weird situation because she has to bring the kids. And she tells Keith Coogan and Magoo, she says, if you guys give me any shit, I will kill you. You're dead, whatever. And I will drop you, bury you. And I always appreciate a good rape joke because he's like, rape? Which is hilarious. That's really funny in my PG-13 movie.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
Why is that there? Why are they making rape jokes in the 80s?
Why did they have two F-bombs?
I mean, this was supposed to be like a charming line. This was very strange, and we don't do movies like this anymore.
No.
Don't get me wrong. I can always appreciate a good rape joke. I mean...
This is where you say, kidding, or you just cut that.
Lisa, don't get all fucking sensitive on me.
Not fucking sensitive.
I think every time I've watched this movie, I've been so fixated on Elizabeth Shue that I never really paid that much attention to the story.
Yeah, you're not watching the movie. You're watching Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
Why can't I say her name? That's this whole podcast. I can't say her goddamn name.
I can say a man in his sleep. He can say
I have never said Elizabeth Shue in my sleep.
I think you have once.
I know.
Once.
You think?
No.
I don't think I've mentioned other women in my sleep, although I have beaten up my wife in my sleep. But other than that, I haven't done much,
And why she didn't just kick your ass is beyond me.
Yeah, don't pretend you're a ninja karate fighter person in your sleep. It's bad.
My poor wife.
I was asleep, that's why I didn't kick it down.
You wake up to your wife going, ow! Poor thing. Yeah, no. She was a trooper about that one. Moving on.
They've got the Playboy in the backseat, which creates a big part of the story, big part of the chase.
This Playboy is the MacGuffin. This Playboy is the thing that drives the whole fucking story forward, right?
And why do I remember the Playboy scene out of the whole story?
Because your dad had that edition?
No, because...
the Elizabeth Shue edition?
They kept talking about how the chick in the Playboy looked like Elizabeth Shue's character.
Yes. So, even when I was a kid.
At 11, I was imagining Elizabeth Shue on those pages.
Well done, Mike. At 11.
So this girl brought...
You were more sexually mature than I was at 11.
This girl brought it... When I was in elementary school, she brought a Playboy on the bus. And, because her dad threw it out in the trash. And she grabbed it out of the trash at the bus stop and took it onto the bus. And I... told on her. What the hell is my problem?
You did tell on people quite a bit. I remember that.
That sucks.
Wow.
That's whatever.
That's where our girls get it from.
I don't do it anymore.
That's where the girls
I know
get
better.
From. Well,
I get in trouble when I tell on people.
All the kids took after Mama and their little tattletales.
Do you really think I told on people?
You did. Quite a bit.
God.
Okay, well, when you're holding my head in the toilet, yeah, Mom, Travis! And then I discovered that you didn't even have to do anything. Mom, Travis just hit me. Travis, knock it off!
Travis, knock it off! My first porno mag experience was on the bus as well.
Oh.
It was a penthouse, though. And all I remember thinking when I first saw these pictures, I'm like, whatever that is, that's disgusting. Whatever it is, because I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Whatever underneath all that bush.
That's gross.
It's gross.
my first Playboy, my dad used to...
It was because you need to be graduated to that sort of thing. You start with maybe dirty pictures, but you start with Playboy first because they're sophisticated and it's tasteful. It's tasteful.
They showed bush in Playboy.
It's airbrushed, all that good stuff. But then I went straight to a penthouse.
Did they really have airbrushing way back then?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But they were actually airbrushing that shit. There was no Adobe, Photoshop bullshit. It was actually.
No, my first Playboy, my dad used to hide him under the mattress in his room. I don't know. Just
nobody's outing you, Dad.
Dumbass kids. No, my mom knew about them. Dumbass kids. Me anyway. I used to just go snooping through my parents' room just to see what I could find. But no, I came across the Playboy. I remember taking it out to the kitchen, sitting down at the table, and just flipping through it like I was looking at a fucking Mad Magazine. I mean, I was just looking at it, but all I remember really is boobs.
Boobs.
I got busted watching the Playboy Channel at Grandpa Davy's house.
Did you?
I did. They came out, and I'm sure
you know
you're
what?
really confused as
that
to
was
why
badass.
I was watching it.
Davey had the Playboy Channel. And
Sure
God,
did.
I remember that. I was like, that was precious. He would go take a nap, and I'd be like, sweet, he's taking a nap. I knew what channel it was,
Yeah.
everything. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe we could just watch
used
this
to
on TV.
hijack cable from, neighbors.
Sure, as you do.
And, well, yeah, it was easy. But anyway, my dad would hijack cable, and one of the places we lived, when my dad hijacked the cable, we ended up with Cinemax. Actually, no.
Skinamax.
No, wait, hang on.
Skinamax.
No, at this point, we were actually, it was legitimate. We were paying for cable at this point. It was really weird.
You were paying for a Skinamax?
Never mind.
We had HBO and Cinemax.
Go ahead and say it, Lisa. I'll let it out if you want.
I'm going to finish my damn story.
Do you know how many episodes we have where you're like, I'm finishing my story, damn it?
Lisa never lets
Are you
me
ready
finish.
for what I was going to say that was mean? Cable comes free in hotel rooms.
Why don't you crawl back in your little bubble? Let Travis see you drop your head in the toilet a few more times.
Mike, what's your story?
My dad busted me late at night watching 2069: A Sex Odyssey.
What did he do?
I heard somebody coming up behind me. I changed the channel, and he goes, "Oh, no. Put it back. Put it back. I want to watch a movie with you." My dad sits down on the couch.
Oh my God. Fuck all that.
And I'm sitting there on the floor, and I had to put it back because I was terrified of my dad. So I put it back on that channel, and I know my dad is sitting back there. I can feel him boring a hole through the back of my head. The way
fucking way.
And the movie's just going, and I'm just kind of staring. And there's boobs and bush, and I'm staring at the TV, but my dad's behind me, and I was waiting to get the shit knocked out of me. And he goes, "All right, are you done?" "Yes, sir." Go to bed.
No, you're not done. Finish it up. My old man grabs me and says, "Smoke up, Johnny." So go cry to your mom. Don't cry here, all right?
Okay, so there's a Playboy in the backseat.
There's a Playboy in the backseat. I think the most classic scene, one of the most classic 80s scenes I can remember are from this movie. And that is Magoo laughing his fucking ass off when the front right tire blows and she's swerving all over the road and he's just cracking up. He's laughing his ass off. This is a hilarious scene. This is totally something I would have done at that age. Yeah. I'd have been laughing, and she's like, "This isn't funny. This isn't funny."
It was an adventure.
It's fucking funny.
It actually made me not so afraid to blow a tire.
Yeah. Look, that's not
fine.
real. So you blow a tire, it's fucking perilous.
And then it scares the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that shit can kill you, Lisa.
I know.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's never happened, and I'm very grateful for that.
And then he comes out, and they get alongside, and he looks at the tire and starts busting up again. It's hilarious. I'm gonna stick that sound clip right in here. It's fucking funny. Yeah. So he's giving Elizabeth Shue some shit alongside the highway, and she looks at him dead in the eyes and calls him a little asshole. I thought that was a little harsh.
He was terrified. He was having a great time. So
Jesus Christ, Columbus, lighten up.
Was just fine. Little asshole was just fine.
I'm picturing Kevin McAllister's uncle grabbing little Macaulay Culkin shirt and saying, "Look what you did, you little asshole."
Difference between being an adolescent, little preteen kid versus senior in high school. You can call a senior in high school a little asshole, and it's okay. Wow, apparently not. Maybe it's just me then.
No, I think I'd rather call somebody who's younger a little asshole. A little shit.
You still call our children that.
Oh my God. Cut that out. I do not.
No damn way, Lisa. So at this point,
Vincent, they're teenagers, all right? They're teenagers. Sometimes they are.
Handsome Pruitt shows up with the tow truck. He's got a hook for a hand. And this is where, again, I'm going back to this. This is a fucking bedtime story. Because he's like, and he's got a hook and this and that. Because it echoes, she's telling her a bedtime story while they're driving down the road before the tire blowout. This is why I think it's supposed to be a bedtime bedtime story.
I can see this.
This is a Princess Bride situation. Absolutely. You don't fucking know Princess Bride. You never watched the movie.
So weird.
Never seen it.
Still so weird.
I can't believe that exists in this world. That exists in this world.
They don't show it in hotels, okay?
That is absolutely true.
Sorry, motels.
Why do they not show that movie? They don't show it on the whole like TNT thing. They never show that. Why is that?
I don't know.
It's on every once in a while.
That's because they know they can get their fucking money's worth. They're like, no.
I just flip past it.
We'll do iTunes revenue because we don't need to fucking just give it away, at all. So Vincent D'Onofrio, he calls up Hanson Pruitt and tells him that his wife is cheating on him. He goes ape shit. So he starts driving like all over the place. Shows up to his own house. This is the tow truck driver. They got all the kids in the car, and he just takes out a gun, just starts blowing the guy away.
So I had a friend whose dad had a hook for a hand.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. I never knew anybody with a hook.
He used to beat them. Like, he had like 7 kids and used to beat them
Who is this?
horribly.
Can we say it?
It was when I lived in Greeley. So you did not live with me.
Okay, no shit.
Yeah.
He beat his kids. He had a hook for a hand.
With the hook hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the way that he picks up the gun is exactly like, I swear he has a hook for a hand.
He just might.
He just might, because everything that he was doing, you got you've got the attachment on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
everything. It was all correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
Real nice. That's a strange attention to detail in this movie.
Which makes me think that maybe he does have a hook for a hand.
Oh, you mean the actor?
Yeah.
Because the actor's like showing up and he's just like, people with hooks, they have this thing on the steering wheel. And Chris Columbus is like, fuck, do we care about this?
He showed up saying, I could make a spooky ass tow truck driver. And he throws out the hook hand and like, hired.
You're in this movie because every other goddamn random thing's in this movie.
That's how it went down.
So this is where we meet after shit starts going wrong. He starts shooting holes in the windshield of the car and all this other stuff. And this is where we meet Joe.
Yep.
With a heart of gold and no fear of the mob.
Yeah, I like it. Just the calmness and the charm.
You know what?
Great.
It's tempting to overplay this kind of role.
Yeah.
Real tempting. He was patient. Mm-hmm. He was low key.
He was suave as hell.
Oh my God. I'm surprised he didn't end up with Elizabeth Shue at the end.
I thought that he should have.
Should have. He was much better than what's his fuck.
Bartholomew?
Yes.
From Double Switch? Yes. Which we still have to do. We got to do Double Switch.
No, we don't.
Fuck. Mike, trust me on this one. And so I'm thinking, based off of his performance, I'm thinking the secondary characters really bring a lot to this movie. It's not about these principals. These secondary characters are bringing it. They're bringing everything they got.
Everything from the blues bar to the car thief. I mean,
There's no way they read the script.
It would not have been a movie without the backup characters.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been.
Yeah. Which is bizarre. Don't you think? Don't you think? Don't you think? Yeah.
At the time, it was a bunch of no-name actors.
Yeah, but they're upstaging the principals, which is a problem.
Unless you're analyzing the film.
We are
analyzing.
Yes. Okay. But does everyone that watches the film analyze the film? No.
No. Gosh, no.
No.
I still love this movie, but I don't love this movie until I watch this movie. Like, when you said we were going to do Adventures in Babysitting, I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. But watching it, man, it's enjoyable.
It's a fun movie.
It's kind of fun.
It's got Elizabeth Shue.
It's really fun.
It has Elizabeth Shue. How can you go wrong?
God, yes. Mike, we get it. You're infatuated with her. We totally get it. So they're driving up.
Focus on it.
So
keep this train rolling.
It is Valentine's Day tomorrow, so not to date this podcast. I'm sorry.
Happy St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Happy St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
You know what? I fucked up my Happy St. Valentine's Day Massacre present to Andrea. We are big fans of Bones, the show Bones, right? And one of the episodes is Dr. Brennan brings in a couple of Tommy guns, and because they don't really believe in Valentine's Day and all that shit. So they go to the fire range, they take out these Tommy guns, and she says, "Happy St. Valentine's Day Massacre," and they start blowing the shit out of these targets.
That's why you were going to do that.
Right.
That whole thing was lost on me.
I fucked up on a present because Andrew and I are the same way with Valentine's Day. We're like, we don't give a fuck, right? We actually hate Valentine's Day. So I ordered from Amazon 2 Nerf fully automatic electronic Tommy guns that I was going to bring in. We were going to do the whole heart and everything. We were going to blow it away. It was going to be great. I forgot that I had to replace my credit card, and my Amazon hadn't been updated, and so the order didn't go through.
That's so sad.
And it was totally going to be in time for Valentine's Day and all that.
So there's still Valentine's Day disappointment. Like,
there always is Valentine's Day disappointment. Absolutely.
You just brought it. Brought it.
I'm bringing it. Valentine's Day disappointment.
Every year.
Mike, did you get Lisa some flowers?
She hates flowers because they die. But then she likes flowers because they're pretty.
Man, we're like a downer on Valentine's Day, aren't we?
I like flowers when it's unexpected.
So then you don't
Same deal with
ever
Andrea,
want anything on Valentine's Day because it'd be expected.
That's just what they would be expecting.
I just got a free pass.
Oh, yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
No,
said it.
It is a mind game because I don't expect you to get me a present. So if you did get me a present, then I'd be shocked.
Oh.
Well,
Jesus Christ, Lise.
You really want to go there? Presents that I get you, you don't know me.
What makes you think this has anything to do with me?
You get pissed with presents. We can totally edit this shit out. You get pissed with presents, whether you get them or you don't get them. You're always pissed in the end, so why bother? The end result is always the same.
Surprised.
The end result is always the same. Surprise, I got you this shitty gift.
Another session of the Psychology Couch brought to you by Flicks and Dicks. Okay, so they're driving into this chop shop because they jumped into this car after everything, gunfire's going off. They jump into this car and they say lock the doors, but they're already locked. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then we get, the car thief with the heart of gold, and he's stealing the car. So he drives it to this chop shop, drives in, all that shit. And we have a very strange introduction scene with Keith Coogan. Why are we doing this?
Because it's Keith Coogan.
Because it's awkward as shit. And again, Keith Coogan left to his own devices is not good.
But honestly,
Keith Coogan in Toy Soldiers is good.
Keith Coogan had done more at this point than anybody else in the movie.
Again, he thinks he's top shit.
I did think it was strange when they not only give their first name, they give their last name, they give where they're from, they give all the information.
To obvious criminals.
Everything but their blood type.
Yeah. Why'd they do that?
Here's my driver's license. Here's my address.
So confusing. And they did it kind of 2 times in the movie. This is so-and-so. And they're saying this to, the bad guy.
No, there's a lot of randomness in this. But, speaking of randomness, they say take the Brady Bunch upstairs and lock them in the room. We'll deal with them later because they have to have this meeting because these mob bosses or whatever getting together. They're getting all these cars and they're going to deliver them or something like that. But one of the lines I thought was another moving on line is Cleveland is dead. He doesn't like the way they've been running things. Okay. Moving on. Subplot. Done.
It was establishing that they're serious.
Yeah, they
mean business.
They don't mind killing somebody.
Yes.
That was the point of that fucking line?
That they had it in them. They weren't just car thieves. They would kill you.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah, it gave
they're
that
serious.
threat.
They will kill you.
It was like the guy flashing the gun. It's just a threat.
No, but that was goofy and funny. That wasn't serious at all.
Well,
that
was what they were.
You have to stay in context with these jokes.
The guy flashing the gun was a guy flashing his penis. They couldn't do that, so they had to have him.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the flasher, right?
Yeah, he was a flasher. He was just. They couldn't be like.
And the censor board comes up and says, "You can't flash. You can't have a naked flash. This is a kid's film." And so he's like,
edit the penis out of the scene, and you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a flasher.
Did they? Do you really think though that?
Because that was real big flashers.
That was a thing. Yeah.
Do you really think he flashed it though in the original? original version of the movie, you know, he goes up and flashes his dick, and you know they're like, "Oh nope, you got to get rid of that." So they replaced his dick with a gun.
There's a man with a penis. Save me!
No, I bet you he was just shirtless, and they just showed just enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Just low enough. I think that's
put a shirt on.
This is you to be shit. We have to reshoot this and just what is he in a flash? I don't know, a fucking gun. Make something up
and wave this gun around.
God damn it, so lazy. Just like Chris telling Magoo, she slaps him once. Everybody's slapping each other, by the way, in this movie. It's like Keith Coogan's hitting.
That was another big thing.
Yeah, it's like just slapping like a bunch of teenage girls.
A little bubble that didn't happen.
No, nobody hit each other. I would have been confused if Richard just hit me for no reason. I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Oh no, I was talking parents and your neighbors. And whatnot.
The only girls who only people who hit me with girls, teenage girls, and they thought it was cute. And I remember thinking at the time, it's like, this isn't cute. You just hit me.
But girls don't do that anymore. They do not just slap a guy across the face. They don't.
Good, because it's fucking assault.
Nobody throws a drink in your face.
Yeah,
actually,
you can't do
that.
That.
That does happen.
I've never
It's passe. You don't really do that. Yeah.
Fresh. Whatcha?
No, back
you don't
in
do
the
that.
day, it wasn't a face slap. It was to the back of the head slap. But when girls did hit me, it was typically like a tap on the shoulder or they patted my butt.
Nice.
Weird at the time. At the time, I was like, "What's going on here?"
So the little girl gets Sarah. She gets the brilliant idea to get out of the room by going up through the hole in the ceiling, and Magoo grabs the Playboy, and because that's going to cause additional problems.
You see how weird it was when he was the last one up, and there wasn't that strain of you are way the fuck up there.
Yeah.
Nobody's lifting you, but he just crawled out of it with nobody behind him. He was the last one up, and it was just like effortless.
That's always a problem, right? And they always show that in like team building exercise and all that. You have to get over the wall, right?
Yeah.
That's always a problem with the last person.
Well, with the last person, typically the person that went just before the last person is reaching a hand down to help them up.
Yeah. I'm actually glad Andrea came out just now. Honey, what's the plan for getting the last person over the wall?
The person before throws a hand down to help them up.
No, that's not as easy as that. Otherwise, everyone would do it.
Yeah,
but that's what happens, though.
What do you think the plan to get the last person?
No, what is the plan? There's like this thing that you're supposed to do. It's like a puzzle.
The second to last person throws a hand down.
Usually you have to be like kind of dangled over and everyone's like holding your legs or some shit.
But it doesn't go well in movies.
I always love Lisa when you're like, the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so they get up into the roof, they go over the rafters, they have a couple lines, they get out, and at this point, I think it's cop time. You're supposed to be calling the police. You just got out of the hideout, their chop shop. You've been faced with the prospect of being murdered. It's time to go to the cops.
I love that you think that going to the cops would have been the smart thing. You know what would have been the smart thing is when Brenda ran away, she should have been like, I'm calling your parents because I'm babysitting. The end.
Yeah, I'm calling your parents.
Yeah. So there is no common sense in this entire movie.
This is something we brought up quite a few times in these podcasts. If you can think of an alternative plan, it's a bad script. If at any point during the movie you can say, why did they just fucking call the parents? Then it's a bad script.
But in all the 80s movies,
it would have made for a much shorter movie.
Fine. It's still a bad fucking script.
We always wonder, where are your fucking parents?
Where are your parents? Oh, we know where their parents are. They're having a party and they're goofballs.
The whole thing is they can't call the cops. They couldn't write down their name on the paperwork at the hospital. They can't.
They're sitting there stressing about the parents finding out. Chris doesn't even like babysitting, man.
They couldn't call the cops because the only place in this entire film where they had a payphone was in the bus station. There was not a payphone.
Are you telling me they were limited by their ability to get to a payphone and dial 911?
Well, we do know that he only had 50 cents.
Did you see a payphone anywhere else? Did you see a payphone anywhere else in this entire movie?
This is the 80s, man. Payphones are every block.
Everywhere.
But did you see them?
I think maybe
they were not in the shot.
They were non-existent in this movie.
The prostitute was leaning up against one, wasn't she?
No, she was in the middle of some courtyard or whatever.
The only payphones in the movie were in the train or the bus station.
And when you're sitting there going, what's the prostitute story? This is a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
You're like, well, oh, she sounds like she's from somewhere. This is supposed to be like the morality tale of the film. It's like, you're 17 too? Oh, and you're a hooker. God damn it.
That really was funny as hell.
No, that was not the point of that scene. The point of that scene was her saying, I better get my life together because you're my age.
Really? That's what you got?
Elizabeth Shue or the hooker?
No, because no. Okay, I got it. Now I remember the whole point of her. Because Brenda ran away from home. The girl said, I ran away from home.
That's right. Elizabeth Shue's like, oh shit, we forgot about somebody. We forgot about the whole fucking point of why we left the house in the first place. Brenda's at the bus station. Let's not call parents and say your daughter's at the bus station facing a guy down with his penis or his gun, whatever you want to say. Come on, this is dumb.
That was the point of the prostitute. Sorry, it took me a second.
So they're running from the mob again. And they end up in this house of blues. If you can't see what I'm doing, because you can't, because this is not a video podcast, I am rubbing my head with disdain.
Okay,
for
but
this
when
scene.
you were complaining about work the other night, you know, the hardships of not work, not complaining about work.
I don't complain about work. What are you talking about? Anybody who might be listening to this podcast from work. Rewind.
When you were all right. No, but Travis, it's relevant because when you were complaining about having a hard day,
dealing with the challenges of my job and living up to them and stepping up to those challenges that's what I was doing.
What did I do?
Sounded like you were polishing a turd.
What did I do? Dun, 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 dun. And then you kept going, and it kind of helped you talk, and you're like, yeah.
That's right, I came up with a solution, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm good at what I fucking do.
I'm
good at my job. I love what I do. It's about solutions to problems that present themselves.
I still see you polishing a turd.
No, I'm damn good at what I do. What are you talking about?
Oh, I wasn't knocking that at all.
But
You know what?
anytime-
Sometimes we come home and we bitch about our job, right?
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's better to bitch about the job you have than to bitch about not having a job.
That's right.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
But that scene that you think is
sorry.
bullshit,
Oh, I think it's bullshit.
every single time somebody was complaining about something, I've got it bad. Somebody would say, "Bam, bam, bam." It happened. It became a part of what we did.
My leg got cut off. I'm doing a weird podcast.
And the kids should be in bed.
I live in suburbia.
And it's
I'm
so
surrounded by
hard.
people whose lives are harder than mine.
All I got from that scene was it was a bunch of kids in an area of life that they had no freaking clue about. That's all I got from it. Not, them having a harder life than the kids had.
Is this a moment of awareness? Because if we go back to the bedtime story possibility that this movie is trying to portray, then we're sitting there saying the small kid is sitting there going, imagining the roughest place you can think of. And that's what's unfolding on screen.
You can be in the
It's
middle.
a blues club. To sing the blues.
You can be in the center.
I've been to a blues club.
City.
What's that blues club we went to? It was not Sing Sing, but it was something called Blues something. Anyway, I went there with Elliot, right? Yeah, everyone in their ties, jackets, all that shit, singing the blues.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Were they all having hard lives because they were in the blues club?
You don't have to be poor or destitute to be in a blues club. If you're poor and destitute, you shouldn't be in a club anyway. You should be, at home trying to figure some shit out.
I feel like I'm being ganged up on morally here.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Moving on. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Lost my place in my notes.
That's okay, because this should be a drink refreshing segment here.
I just lit up.
Drink refreshing.
Yeah, I'm out.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. We're out of booze.
No, we're not.
And we're singing the blues.
Where the fuck am I?
We're not out.
Oh, that's right. I was at my point in my notes where I said, nobody gets out of this place without singing the blues.
Oh my God,
Pain.
Mike.
Such pain.
Never mind, I think I'm still good.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. She's still good.
See?
Nobody gets out of this place without singing the blues.
Oh
I feel like that guy was somebody.
It could have been.
He totally could have been. Yeah. Hey, you want to be in a movie?
Yeah.
A little bit of context here, folks. Lisa just picked up a car for her son. It's a Jeep Cherokee, 1985. Thank you very much. And it's a
Cherokee XJ.
Lifted.
It's lifted. It's rough, but it's an awesome first car.
Sexy. Oh my god!
And you know what? I've been trying to weasel this car out of them ever since I saw it. Actually,
I just took him along to because he knows Jeeps. I'm like, you are the Jeep guy. Like. I need a Jeep guy with me, but bam, he tries to jack the car out from under us. If you would have had cash on you, I think you would have thrown a higher offer in.
2050. 2051.
Can you imagine? Oh my god, we should have just played that out. We should have started at 2000 and brought it up to 2050, just debating with each other.
Just for fun? Because it's fun to spend more money for no reason?
Well, we were going to go to 2050 anyway. But it would have been funny to watch
that
this
would
guy's
be funny.
head spin.
Because I'd have been like 1900, and you'd been like 1950. I'd be like, fucking 2000 then. All right, I'll take it for 2000. And he'd be like, Jesus Christ, yeah, fine.
And if I would have like tapped out going, I can't afford 2000, and he would have been like, he gets it for 2000.
Whoa, shit.
We could have gotten a better deal.
We probably could have.
And you would have driven it back to your motel and called it good.
He said, stalled once, but just fine for the rest of it. Awesome.
If he didn't stall once, I lose respect for him. All right, you guys stall out a Jeep. I mean, what? When was the last time this kid drove a fucking stick shift?
Since he was, 16?
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? Once you learn, you always got it.
I stalled it once
You
today.
always got it.
I
Did you really?
Once today, only because I forgot that...
that thing's idling at 2,500 RPM. How can you stall it?
And it pops out of second gear.
It does,
because the manifold is too far forward. It does need to be...
The console.
Console, sorry. The console is too far forward.
Yeah, I'm a real gearhead, just so
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you brought me along.
Expert with the new Beatles. Expert with the new Beatles.
That's a podcast for another time. This is Keith Coogan again. I just came back because I forgot my keys.
I totally thought that was Tommy Lee Jones.
All right, I need a perimeter here of every outhouse, farmhouse, hen house in this area. I'm cutting that. Okay. Let me see here. So, yeah, of course, the blue scene, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now? And I think every secondary character is like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
The more I think about it, I actually did enjoy the scene.
I love the scene.
Are you serious?
It was that awkwardness of
awkwardness is correct, yes.
Kids going into a club that, well, hell, just kids going into a club. They could have been douchebags and assholes and just thrown them out. But no, they threw them out there. Okay, really? You're out in this city in the middle of the night. Please tell me, what are your woes?
Good point, Mike.
Yeah, it was
nice.
Great. It was great.
I liked it.
Please tell me, what are your woes? Yeah, because I'd love to fucking hear that. I want to hear what your woes are.
No matter how bad you
because that coat didn't come from Sears.
Got it worse. And, okay, hang on. No matter how bad, somebody else's shit is, it doesn't make, the next person's plight any less than the other person. Because to them, it could be the end of the fucking world. No matter how silly it might seem to you or someone else, to them, it's a big deal. It's huge.
You know what? I'll concede the point.
Yay!
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well done. Absolutely. Yeah.
Good job.
All right, so they get out of the club, and they're running again, but I'm not sure how that happened. How did that manifest they're running again? Because they're going into the subway. So how'd they get onto the subway?
They walked.
No,
they went down the stairs.
No, they were running. It was a perilous situation because they jumped over the turnstile and everything.
Well, they went from the sanctity, the fortified walls of this club, and now all of a sudden they're out in the big scary city.
Right, so they're being chased again.
But they didn't walk out of the club like, oh my god, we gotta get out of here. They were laughing like, oh, that was so much fun. And they were like, we should probably go. And then they were like, hey!
Kids, give me a Playboy.
Oh, yeah.
and then they're running again.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So they get on this train, and which is going wherever, and
oh my god,
it was going away from
the badness. And then Elizabeth Shue tells Sarah to go to sleep, but she's like, fuck you, we're doing a movie right now. And all of a sudden there's a random gang fight, turf fight going on. And this is another moment where I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Okay, honestly.
Do you remember
we
getting
were,
on the
we were
train?
in Los Angeles.
Yes.
We were in Los Angeles, middle of the freaking night.
So bad. We got
as sad
on the
as it
metro
sounds,
going the wrong way.
as sad as it wasn't just that it went the wrong way. We decided to instead of getting off at the stop that sounded familiar to us, it was like, no.
Let's take it to the end of the line.
No, it wasn't even let's take it to the end of the line. Let's see, what the next stop is. And next stop was end of the line. Oh, shit.
So you want to talk about a big, scary city. So we get out, downtown L.A., 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. There are huge rats crawling out of the sewer.
Huge for West
Really?
Coast. Huge for West Coast.
I've never actually seen that shit before.
The streets are empty.
There was one straggling
That is so weird.
What appeared to be a prostitute.
Yep. And then there was the guy pushing the grocery cart.
Yes.
And we're standing there. I've got a fanny pack filled with over $1,000. And we're standing out here in the middle of what the fuck land.
Downtown Los
where
Angeles.
newspapers are blowing across the street.
It was like, the scenes in movies where, you're like, how in the hell did they get that city to just have deserted streets?
I felt like I was on a movie set. It was the strangest thing.
On
real
the
nice.
train, though, I actually thought about this movie. I was expecting, some, random, lonely, lame-ass gang to be sitting there on the train. But no, it was just us.
Yeah.
There
was another guy though, and he was screaming down the train, and he said, "Get off my train!" And he was like knocking people's newspapers out of their hand, and you're sitting there going, "Teach me that. Teach me that. I want to know how to do that."
There was no one on the
Get off my train!
Just us.
If I was telling the story alone,
gang.
Travis, you wouldn't believe me.
Nice. No, I like it. I've been to Sydney, Edinburgh, London. I haven't been to New York yet, but I've been to LA. I've never seen sewer rats. I've never seen this type of peril that you guys are talking about. It's always been a very,
on the
very...
West Coast are like a fraction of the size of East Coast rats.
I haven't seen that shit either.
I had never seen that before in my life.
She freaked the shit out seeing this rat crawl out of the freaking sewer.
So have you ever seen gang members come up and be like, "Oh, this is our turf"? But no, once it goes past this street, then it's our turf.
I've never seen that, but I have been approached. Get the fuck out of our neighborhood.
Really?
Sir, yes, sir. And I turned and I quickly left.
I had rocks thrown at my car because I was in the wrong neighborhood, which I thought was weird.
I was walking through the wrong neighborhood.
I had a friend that I was visiting in Alabama, and she is a cop, and she thought that it would be funny to show me a bad neighborhood that she's hated in.
Jesus Christ.
So
could we be any more white?
The neighborhood that she's known in as being
God.
and hated.
And so we are driving on the street, and there are people all standing in the middle of the street, and we're approaching, and she's like, "Yeah, you might want to lock your door." They're not moving.
No.
They're not moving at all. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't need... We're like on show and tell field trip here. You don't need to do this. I'm good.
It's disrespectful.
It
really is. It's not
like,
good.
It was like she was driving me through a zoo, and it was ridiculous.
I can only imagine if there was a tour bus coming through my neighborhood and people were looking out the window taking pictures. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
My school bus took a detour through the wrong neighborhood, and there were kids throwing beer bottles, shooting the bus with pellet guns. Thank God they weren't real guns.
My God, Mike, you've had a life, and the only way I really know it is through these podcasts, which is nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
I repeat stories all the damn time. You've never heard that one?
No, I have not heard that.
We went through an area in North Carolina.
I don't know if I was listening.
Just outside of Wilmington, it was called Gervais. That was the area where everybody was on food stamps, but there were many people driving Mercedes and Audis, and it was like, huh.
Andrew and I talk about that. That's putting your priorities in different things. It's not the wrong thing. It's just different things.
No,
when you're in a really, really poor neighborhood and people are driving the best Cadillac or the best Mercedes, it's like, okay, so they're living in a trailer. They're saving a shit ton on their mortgage, but they decided to get a really cool car. All right, that's just a different priority, and it's fine.
The majority of it was drug money.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying people are shifting priorities.
That's quite the assessment from the school bus.
Yeah, you guys are giving me shit over assumptions. That's a huge assumption.
No. I lived like 2 blocks away from this area. I'm well aware. My dad used to go there I know my parents are never going to listen to this, but my dad used to go into this neighborhood to buy his weed. His dealer's name was Shue.
By the way, that's illegal here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Colorado, it's the place to be, right?
Do you know that we actually met somebody today that said, I said, why did you move here? And he goes, for the 3 W's. And I was like, what?
That is so weird.
And I was like, what are the 3 W's? He goes, weed, work, and weather. And I'm like, holy shit, like, you have a term for why you moved to Colorado.
That's because Colorado's fucking awesome. It is fucking awesome.
It's like www.colorado.gov.
It's got everything but a beach. I've always said that. It's got everything but a beach. It's got temperate weather. It's got the mountains. It's got skiing.
Out here. Lisa, you can attest to this. Ever since I came out here, it's been Colorado would be perfect if it had a beach.
If it had a beach.
The only thing that me and this kid agreed on today, I said that everybody who has moved to Colorado, they should build a lane on the highway where that is the only lane that you can drive in. And he goes, that would be really smart. I'm like, that way the rest of us who have lived here forever can.
So you got to put your fucking native bumper sticker on. So that's your pass.
Native.
God damn
I
it!
hate that
yes,
shit.
you are.
No, I'm not. I was born in Alabama.
Lisa, you're a fucking native. You were born in Alabama. What? You all of 2 years in Alabama? Come on, give me a break. You are a Colorado native.
But I'm not.
Fine. Have it your way. So let's get back to Brenda for just a second because she wants a hot dog. Okay, so she's trying to get this hot dog, and she says, "I don't have any money."
Maybe
and so the guy says, "I don't have a wiener."
His penis.
I mean,
gun.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this penis talk?
This, and I'll slip you the wiener.
You slip me.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
So there's two hilarious. There's two hilarious jokes here. You slip me the cash, I'll slip you the wiener, which couldn't be more obvious if we tried. She says, "I don't have any cash." He says, "I don't have a wiener." Wah, 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 wah. And then we move on. Moving on.
But I giggle every damn time I see that scene.
Well, then I don't have a wiener. God damn it, we're laughing at that shit.
It was a funny ass scene.
So everyone thinks Brad's dead. Brad gets stabbed by the gang fight. He gets because that was the part of the whole "don't fuck with the lords of hell, don't fuck with the babies."
That's what it was.
And so he throws a knife in Keith Coogan's shoe, probably nicks his toe or something like that. He needs one stitch. One stitch. Oh, I'm not a man. And so there's a mix-up at the hospital, and the doctor comes out and says, Your friend
didn't make it.
Your friend didn't make it. And so everyone thinks he's dead. This is a heavy scene for this movie, right?
Yeah.
And so Sarah's like, Jesus Christ, my brother's dead. And then he comes out, and he's like, oh, I only have one stitch. And everyone looks up, and then she says, okay.
Are you getting choked up?
No.
I could have been more emotionally involved in Sarah's realization that Brad was alive if the music wasn't so March of the Elephant Brigade or whatever. Did you guys hear the music during this part? It was like, no. I'm like, they thought he was dead. What the fuck's your problem?
I missed the music.
I don't remember music.
This music is horribly misplaced.
I just love the sleepiness of the doctor.
Your
friend's dead.
I've been up for 36 hours and I just did a stitch.
All I can think with the doctor, did you guys ever watch Night Court?
Yeah.
You had the one guy. He had that disorder, where he always talked like this. Did you ever see that episode?
Yes.
Yes. That sounds vaguely familiar.
It was that weird turtle-looking dude.
Yeah.
That's all I could think when I saw the doctor. I was like, that poor bastard. That's a serious disorder.
All right. Now I can't remember, and it was totally wrong and inappropriate. Where did Sarah say, "Oh, Brad"? Was it here or was it?
No, I'm getting there, Lisa.
I could have.
I'm getting there.
I could have sworn it was this where she jumps up onto him when she realizes he's alive. She goes, "Oh, Brad."
Nope.
It sounds like a sex scene.
It really does.
Sure does.
It really does.
It's when Brad was pulling Sarah up from when she was outside of the building.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember if it was this scene or that scene.
Oh yeah.
That was it.
Okay.
I got a note, and it says, "Oh, Brad."
that was awkward.
What the fuck are we doing?
But Mr. Chris Columbus was totally fine with that.
Have you ever heard of another take?
Yeah, that one should have had another one.
Are you serious?
Or 3 or 4.
I think that Chris Coogan, he was Coogan.
Keith Coogan.
Keith Coogan.
Yeah.
I think he was just so happy to have somebody say his name like that. I don't know.
Brad. Jesus.
That was really
bad.
painful.
This is way after what we're getting to the frat party. Let's get to the frat party.
Yeah,
all
she
right?
had to pee.
Okay, so she's got to make, as she says, I think make has to do with taking shit.
That's okay. She's a tomboy. She's
No, you gotta make 1 or you gotta make 2.
Really?
Yeah.
thing?
I thought having to make was taking a shit, and I gotta
You
go.
gotta make
No,
one
you
or you
gotta
gotta make
take
2.
a dump.
You take a dump and you throw a piss.
You throw.
Yeah.
You throw. Well, Mike says you throw.
Nobody's throwing a piss. Nobody's taking a dump. You're not taking it anywhere. And unless you want somebody really pissed off with you, you're not throwing a piss anywhere.
So
ever.
is making is that a taking action or a giving action? What is make?
I thought make was.
Okay, you're creating pee because it's not really
So you're
pee
taking-
until it comes out of the body. So you're making pee. You're making poo. you're manufacturing it.
We're getting real highbrow here.
Yeah, we are.
You gotta make 1 or you gotta make 2.
You gotta take one. You gotta know when to
Hold them. Know when to throw them.
You gotta be careful of it because when you hold it, you end up prairie dogging it.
Yeah, she's having to pee. So Magoo is like, oh, there's a party. I'm a party animal for some reason, and he has to just go to this frat party, which is pretty ballsy
And
for a little
he
kid.
But that
the
was
fuck
his
out.
character. His
He
character
jumped
was,
the fuck out to
I don't
go
give
do
2
this.
shits. I'm gonna go just do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say whatever, do whatever. That was his character. It was fine. It was fitting.
So we do introduce the Dreamboat, Mr. Bartholomew. I forget his name, but he was in Bartholomew and Double Take. Look it up, guys. It's an awesome movie, and it's free on
I
YouTube.
didn't go that far, but okay.
You've seen it?
I saw part of it.
That doesn't count.
Probably about 15 years ago.
Hey, could you trip that power again?
Thank you.
All right, and so he asked Chris to dance because at this point his game's pretty weak. His game's real weak.
Yeah.
He's not saying much, and he's just like, you're the most beautiful person to walk through that door. Really? Yeah. Moving on.
Okay.
No, he defended her when they thought that she was the Playboy chick.
All he's doing is trying to get in her pants. That's what it looks
And
like.
he came up with Mike. So, I mean, the guy said the right thing.
Have you ever walked up to anybody in your whole life? It's like, he's like, if there's anything I can do for you, I need $50. Even today, that would be a lot of money. Just to ask someone
People
for.
do it to me all the time. This kid
They
showed
really
up
do.
in my driveway the other day, and I know what he was trying to ask me, but I didn't let him do it because I'm not his
But
mama.
you did let him use tools
Yeah,
to
try to
quote
fix his
unquote
car.
work on his car.
But I know what he was asking. But I wasn't going to
but
let him ask
this
it.
guy is supposed to have no ulterior motive. He's just like, hang on, I'll go get you some money. You live in the city. You live in the city. I'm sure people ask you for money all the time. And so there's this weird bunch of ragtag group of people that come in, and she's like, I need $50. He's like, hang on, I'll go get it for you. He's trying to get her pants. That's all there is to it.
That's fine.
All right, sweet. And so...
I'd have done it.
So they have a moment on the dance floor, and she's like, well, he's pretty dreamy. And this was before she found out his boyfriend was cheating on her. Before. This is before.
Yeah.
So she's dancing pretty cheek to cheek with Dreamboat here.
Yeah.
I totally thought you were going to burst into song there.
Dancing cheek to cheek. Da 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 da. Dancing cheek to cheek. Da 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 da.
See, aren't you glad that was in the movie?
Nothing like good source material, right? And so he's gonna go ahead and drive him to the garage to go get the car.
But not before he's looking at him with stalker eyes.
Oh, Chris Coogan or Keith Coogan
Coogan.
is burying. I mean, he's drilling a hole in this
That
guy's
was
head.
that exact party situation.
And
The exact
Magoo
thing.
is taking advantage of a drunk chick, or the drunk chick is taking advantage
She's
of Magoo.
taking advantage of him
She's taking advantage.
because he's a child.
And she looked like she was younger than he is.
She did, yeah.
Go to
Really
bed?
did.
You want to go to bed?
Want to go to bed?
Man, when I was a kid, I loved that fucking scene. I did. I love that scene. I'm like, oh man, why does that never happen to
I'm
me?
not gonna lie, I did imagine myself
Oh.
in that situation.
Oh yeah.
And I would have blown off everyone to further
It's
that
like,
situation.
whatever we got going on, I'll find a fucking ride.
Yep.
Don't even worry about it.
I'll call my parents.
I'll call my parents. Hey, I'm at a frat party. I'll explain it later. This is the best night of my fucking life.
I just got laid. You can pick me up here.
Mom, Dad, I've become a man. Come pick me up.
Okay, none of us lost our virginity until later. Like, we were not those
Why are
15-year-olds.
you putting that out there, Lisa?
Because you guys, big talk boys, but
no.
you would have...
No, I was big talk to go make out with a girl. I didn't say have sex with her.
Go to bed.
I
Lose
get
your
it.
virginity,
Okay.
Dude,
accept
at that age, I didn't know what the fuck go to bed meant. I thought it was making out and kissing, okay?
Apparently, I lost
I
my
still
virginity
think that's what it
way
means.
later than most of the people that I know. But 17, for me, that was when it happened.
17 for me, that's when it happened.
So it's not.
No comment.
It's not that far fetched.
Travis was 25.
Shut the fuck up! I'm editing this. This is bullshit.
Actually, I don't know how old you were, so...
Yeah, you don't.
25.
You have no idea. No, you have no clue.
17. You made it like it was kind of far fetched that it would have happened there, but big talk, big boys, whatever. No, for me, that was pretty spot on age wise.
But the kid was 15.
Was he playing a 15-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
At a
Could
college
you
party.
imagine? And you know what? This is another one of those role reversal things you could never get away with, because if this movie tried to pull that shit the other way, all of a sudden you got a college guy trying to making out, which we've covered this in Hiding Out apparently,
Yes.
but yeah, making out with a fucking 15-year-old.
Yeah, that's not going on.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
Well, you had the college guy finding out that she was a senior in high school, and you know what? God,
and
it was
he
such
still showed up at the house.
Yeah, but that was such a typical thing where you'd be like, oh, I'm a freshman. And you never specified, am I a freshman in high school or am I a freshman in college?
I think that was because
I'm
of
a
this movie, though.
Maybe.
Yeah, totally. All right, so they go off and they're going to go drive to the garage, and he's going to give him a ride in his Jeep Wrangler. Fucking A.
Where all of a sudden
Yeah.
the city did not look so scary because he knew where he was going.
This
Because
driving.
Bartholomew was there.
Bartholomew is there, and he's there to protect him. So they're driving, and it's the most random line I can remember in recent history, where they're just driving. It's a total cutaway shot, and he looks around. Magoo looks around and says, "This is really weird." Shue looks back at him and says, "You're weird." Moving on. The fuck was that?
It was just
That
the
was it.
awkwardness. of
This
the
is what's
situation.
weird. What's weird? The green light in the tunnel,
No, it's for the same reason that.
and he
I
starts
don't know what to
laughing again,
say.
which I appreciate, of
When
course.
I don't know what to say. I say that's funny.
This is really weird.
I think Magoo was just reflecting on what just happened, with him.
With his life up until that point,
Yes.
yeah, totally.
This is weird.
So
You're
yeah,
weird.
we get into that garage, and then I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it, but Vincent fucking D'Onofrio comes down on a hydraulic lift, and all of a sudden we've got
Thor.
Thor.
Oh, Thor, God of Thunder.
Oh Thor, mighty God of thunder. Awesome, fucking
It was
awesome.
great. It was
I could watch that. I could watch that scene over and over and over again. So yeah, fresh off a Full Metal Jacket, he makes an appearance in this fucking movie as Thor.
That's fine.
with long, flowing blonde locks.
I didn't think he did a good job, but
He owed somebody a favor.
I don't think he did a good job in the scene either. But
it was horrible. Anytime
scene
anybody
itself
makes a
was great.
cameo,
So he just got off a fucking film with Stanley fucking Kubrick doing Adventures in Babysitting. Of course, you're not going to know how to act.
He's a creepy looking dude.
No, yeah. You know what? You can be that creepy and that good.
seems like he could be
fucking
Santa
good.
Claus. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. He's got kind eyes.
Come sit on Pappy's lap. That's all I see there. Whoa.
So.
Okay. So anyway,
So they talk Thor into giving him the car for $45 instead of $50, and it's fine because
he was a dick.
yeah, which is
This
good.
is the
That's
city.
good.
It's a city.
Yeah, it's a city. Look, we only take care of our own in the city. You look out for number one.
He says, I look out for myself.
The only person I help is myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, well, I know why you're not acting like yourself. You don't have your helmet. Here, take mine. You're supposed to be wearing this. You're wearing a ball cap. You're doing it all wrong. And he says, you giving this to me, kid? She says, sure, you're my hero. And so he says, softens up, and he says, go ahead and take the car.
And then what was great was he tossed her back her helmet and says, I've already got one. I'm a big time dork. I think I am.
At home.
Because I usually wear them every day.
So here's the deal with his acting skills in this is up until
there's no question about Vincent D'Onofrio's acting skills.
In this, I said.
You can only do so much with the script.
You can phone it in as a cameo. That's fine, but there's no question about Vincent D'Onofrio's acting skills.
His acting skills sucked up until his heart softened. When his heart softened, he did a good job.
That's because you were emotionally engaged. There's a difference.
He did a good job with it.
That's only, as Travis said, it's only because you were emotionally engaged with it.
Because the only reason you're emotionally engaged is because he did a good job with that section.
It was a sweet scene. It was a sweet scene. That's
it was a
why
sweet
you
scene.
were emotionally engaged.
I teared up with the scene. I'm not afraid to say it. I tear up at it. But I was just watching Star Trek Next Generation. I fucking cried at almost every single one of them. I've been binge watching.
I get shit for crying watching Cops?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
You cry watching Next Generation?
Who doesn't?
Me?
So they got their car, they're driving, and they just happen to notice the restaurant that she was supposed to be going to for their 1-year anniversary.
Well, they didn't notice. Magoo noticed.
Noticed.
He saw So Cool.
He saw So Cool Camaro.
No, she said, huh. And they're like, what? And she's like, that's where I was supposed to go today.
Right.
And then they noticed the car.
You're right.
Yep.
They didn't. Magoo noticed it and
so
laughed about it.
They go in and they're having dinner. So she's going to have her big moment where she's going to tell him off. And she says, I thought you loved me. And this is where he says, don't, your legs are tied together at the knees or something.
I was so disappointed.
He said that to Keith Coogan when Keith Coogan stepped in and said, most guys would dream of a girl like this. And he goes, yeah, keep dreaming, kid, whatever. She's tied at the knees or whatever the hell it was.
I was proud of her until she kept going and said, I thought you loved me.
Yeah, at this point, who gives a fuck whether or not he loves you? You just want to tell him off, right?
Who don't convince people to love you. Stop it.
But I just want you to love me. God damn it.
Don't beg for love.
Do you know the baddies are just...
I did it with you and it worked.
And look where you are now.
I want you all to know that we've
almost 20 years later.
We're
4 kids.
Fantastic.
Nobody's questioning it. Moving on. All right, so the baddies are waiting outside for this shit. And he's like, patience. It's like, no, just go in and get the fucking job done. What's the problem? Go in, sneak up on him, grab the Playboy, go. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Kill the kid, which you need to do that because they know where the operation is and all that shit. Yeah, but I mean, considering what's at stake for them, just let's bring Muhammad to the mountain with this shit. Okay, just go in, take care of business.
Whoa, that was a hell of a reference, for Adventures in Babysitting.
It's not a hell of a reference for Flicks and Dicks. Thank you very much. So, of course, Brad tells him that he'd like to pound his face, but he won't stoop to his level. And
Magoo had no problem doing it, and I was like, hell yeah.
Chris looks a little disappointed. She's like, oh, you're not going to pound his face in? Oh, okay, fine.
Really? You thought she looked disappointed?
And then...
Honestly, I thought she looked proud of him.
No, I got disappointed out of the look.
Okay, you were disappointed. I think I was as well. But she looked at him like it was really, it made it, all the other scenes with Chris Coogan and Elizabeth Shue that much more awkward. She looked at him like she was a proud mom. That was what I got from this.
Really?
She kind of looked at him
this
like
is so mom. Weird, the things we're getting out of this weird movie.
Yeah.
This is a very strange movie.
But then Magoo steps and he goes, I will.
And then cheap shots him from behind.
Kicks dude dead in the ass, which any young kid would definitely do when you're faced with, some almost 30-year-old guy.
Let's make no bones about it. This guy is fucking 30.
Preying on young girls. Yeah. you're going to kick that middle-aged dude
cheap shots are totally allowed,
You're going to kick that middle-aged dude dead in his ass.
All right, so Sarah goes missing at this point because she saw a toy store earlier and she wants to go check it out.
I like that she went after the food tree. That was great. Like, it was a good distraction. Like,
food. Well, they got to be fucking hungry. I haven't eaten shit.
Oh, do you know what I love?
Even Keith Coogan hasn't eaten his macaroni and cheese he's spilled all over the place.
So I have watched so many TV shows, things like that. I don't know if any of you are following Arrow or following Flash, but in both of them, they keep locking them up in these cages for a long time. That doesn't have a bathroom, okay? It doesn't have a bathroom. They're in these they've got these superhero people locked up in the chambers with no bathroom. But this movie,
somebody has to take a piss.
Somebody has to pee. So, I think that you should always include in there the real necessities of life. This girl had to pee. This girl got hungry. This girl is living real life, all right?
Or a bedtime story.
Well, do you eat and pee and sleep and all that stuff in your dreams? No.
But this is the thing we talk about with fantastical reality when it comes to movies. We talked about that with Star Wars and all that. It's like, do they have a break room? Do the stormtroopers have a break room?
Do the stormtroopers go to the bathroom?
They have to, but we don't want to see it.
Maybe it's just recycled. They do it while
maybe
they
pee in they pee in their suits.
Yes.
We've got some kind of like hydrolysis situation going on. It's separating out the water from the urine. You separate out the oxygen and the hydrogen from the urine. The hydrogen powers their blasters, and the oxygen allows them to breathe.
I was just going to say a protein shake. But,
it's a closed system. What can you say? It's a closed system. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a much better movie. However, so Sarah goes missing, and by the miracle of coincidence, they all end up at their parents' party because, chocolate
because she got hungry.
So she hits a couple of buttons on the elevator.
But why'd she hit 2?
Why did she hit 2? That's a really good question, Lisa.
Because maybe
because the first button is their parents' party. The second button is the construction
Maybe she
zone.
just went at it open-handed, and she had chocolate on multiple fingers.
Maybe she opened up the elevator door to her parents' party and was like, "Oh shit, I can't go in there. I hear people." And then she went.
That's a cut scene.
No, I don't think that was it at all. I think she had chocolate on multiple fingers, and when she went to hit the floor that she thought it was, chocolate on another finger ended up hitting the key for the other floor.
I'm glad that this is the biggest mystery in the movie.
This is the biggest mystery in the movie.
I don't think it's a big mystery at all. It's
the biggest mystery of this movie is
vacant floor.
Why does floor 45 have a completely unsecured construction zone where people have open windows to their death? That's not
okay. That's
completely accessible.
This scene made Sarah out to be a complete and total fucking idiot
or badass.
No.
She's a badass.
No, complete and total fucking idiot. Because she comes out onto this floor that is dark as shit. There's plastic hanging from the ceiling. There's obvious construction shit going on. And, you're 8, whatever, I don't care. That does register, okay, they're doing some work here. And she's still walking around, Mom? Dad?
No, she was only doing that when she was outside of the fucking building hanging on by her fingernails.
She did that. She did that as soon as she came out of the elevator. Mom? Dad? Really?
Well, kids are dumb. What can you say? Yeah, they're totally dumb.
This movie made them, instead of the adults out to be complete and total fucking morons, they made the youngest, and yes, she was a badass throughout the entire movie, but this scene alone, she was a complete and total fucking idiot.
So I do love movies that the baddies are so bad that they can't notice a cord being wrapped around their ankles by somebody who's right at their ankles.
And I'm sorry, but even if you're a bad guy who's used to sitting down in meetings, you know how to speak to somebody. Like that, why when the parents were talking to him, he was like, "Excuse me, huh?
What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Caterer? What do you mean, caterer?"
What's her face? Sarah. She was crawling outside.
No.
Oh no, that was just after.
No, it was just him interacting with adults.
Yeah, it's like you're a fucking grown up.
You don't have to.
You've been to a fucking party before.
He wasn't focused on them. He was trying to find the kids.
I hate dumb villains. I hate them.
Because clearly you're not dumb. You became a villain. That takes smarts.
And he's sitting there going, "Well, there's something going on with my ankles right now, but I'm not going to look down because that would be too suspicious."
But I do like I watched the way that they wrapped the cord. Or that he wrapped the cord.
You're giving any excuses or legitimacy to this.
Because I was looking for it, the cord brushing up against in an obvious manner, and it didn't happen.
No, hang on. If it was her tying a cord around his ankle, why did she untie his shoe?
She didn't.
She did. No, she didn't.
Rewatch it.
You rewatch it.
No problem.
I've seen it twice.
In past podcasts, Mike, you said rewatch it. I have, and I've been right on every single point.
You have not, because if you would have brought it up on the next podcast.
I had my shoes tied together when I was in school, and I did fall.
Yeah, no, because you would.
Yeah, you would. But
why didn't you notice that?
I didn't notice.
So the whole crew goes up to the construction zone. They get Sarah, and this is the whole,
So hang on, I'm going to point this
Brad.
out real quick. You just gave validity to her tying whatever around his ankle, or her untying his shoe and tying it to whatever. You just gave validity to that because you said that when you were little, you had your shoes untied and laces tied together, and you fell.
I did.
You didn't notice it.
I didn't.
So...
But I did notice that they did not untie a shoe in the movie.
Was that a person standing at your ankles, tying a cord around your ankle?
No,
or was it...
It was just on the school bus. It was on the day.
Or was it somebody sliding under the seat and quietly untying your shoelaces, which could totally happen. Which is funny as hell, by the way. That's fucking funny.
Lisa fell? Of course.
No, that shit's classic. That's great.
Classic.
Yeah. All right. So they get Sarah, and they're going home again, and they're like, "Oh my God, we gotta race the parents home." What's Daryl's fucking problem? What is Magoo's fucking problem where he feels compelled to molest Brenda for no reason?
Why did he do that?
Because he wanted to.
This is bullshit. This is unearned bullshit.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was a very, very bad.
This is the same thing in License to Drive. It's like, what year was License to Drive?
I was going to say, which one came out first? Because the
exact same thing. It's this whole like, we're gonna fucking borderline rape somebody in the back seat, and they think it's funny.
The word rape. Rape wasn't rape.
Rape is not a bad word. Rape is a word.
I'm not talking about it being a bad word. I'm talking about rape is a specific thing.
Sexually assaulting somebody. Yeah,
that's not rape. Yeah, it was sexual assault.
This is total sexual assault.
Yes.
In this lighthearted kids movie.
Yes,
but it was the very same scene in License to Drive.
It is. What are they doing at that point? Producers like, yeah, it's fucking funny. Yeah, peeping it on teenage girls' boobies. It's hilarious.
Even when I was a kid, I had a problem with this scene.
But do you remember snapping girls' bras, undoing girls' bra straps?
Snapping girls' bras, I'm not putting in the same zone.
I did.
Undoing a girl's shirt while she's passed out.
Bra while she's sitting in class. Snap.
That's kind of funny.
How's that different?
Because they're like sitting there going, "Oh my God!"
The only time I ever did that was when a girl said, "Hey, Mike,
you did that to me
try
a week
this."
ago.
Yeah, but we've been married forever and we're old.
Still fucking annoying.
Why is this cute in the 80s? I just don't understand why it's cute.
I don't understand it.
License to Drive copied this.
They came out after this?
Yes, License to Drive came out in 88.
Oh, I can totally hear the conversation. Wow, that was funny. We can do it better, though. What the hell? I mean, what the hell? 80s. Yeah, I'm looking at you, 80s.
That could have been 100% cut out.
It really could have.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-second shot.
It was a terrible choice.
Yeah, so Brad.
Oh, Brad.
You got it, Travis. You win. You're correct. It is bad.
So they're racing home and everything like that, which I like this last sequence. I watched it a couple times because it's just like energy and pace. It's like, fuck it, I'm with her.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, you've got to get that macaroni cleared up because the parents are coming home.
It was bullshit. There's no way she did all of that in that brief.
Those parents were up at the door looking for their keys, and she's getting the whole kitchen cleaned up in that time frame. That's pretty fucking fast.
But when she jumped on the couch, it was like,
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what?
Elizabeth.
They should have had the whole, why are you sweating? Why are you hyperventilating? Why is your heart rate 130 beats per minute,
She could have said early menopause.
Sure, because she's 25 fucking 5,
She was mid-20s.
So the crew gets away with everything.
Yeah.
And Brenda goes home. Okay, that's done.
I like that. But I can't go home. Go home, Brenda.
Go home. We're done with your bullshit.
Yes.
I'm calling your parents if you don't go home right now because we're at that point.
I do like that they kicked her out.
Yeah. Dreamboat drives out 59 miles to return, skates and kisses Elizabeth Shue, and roll crazy credits.
No. Coogan gave his okay.
He shut the blinds. He stopped being a creeper.
He allowed her to you know, pursue other men.
He allowed her to be a 20-something, pretending to be 17, making out with a dude in his 20s.
Holy shit. Well, he walked up to me and he asked me if I wanted to dance. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. What do you guys think? You guys recommend this movie?
Yes.
Mike, let's start with you.
Yes, I do. I don't know. Okay, yes, Elizabeth Shue I think is absolutely gorgeous. That aside,
no joke, right, Mike?
It was a fun movie.
It's just a fun movie. There's two scenes that I love, absolutely love. That's the ending and where Magoo is just laughing his fucking ass off. Those are the only two scenes where I'm like, this is hilarious. I could just watch these scenes. That's it. Lisa.
There's two scenes for me that stand out big time. And that is the opening scene where she starts babysitting and the introduction of all the characters, because it was so. I remember the foundation covered Clearasil, and I remember all of that. And the skates in the house.
The beginning scenes were real.
They were great. They were so real. And the more that we talked about this movie, when I came into this going, I fucking love this movie. But the more that we talked about it, there are so many defining moments, and I remember you blowing on the glass
blowing
window,
on the glass,
to freezes, to there's little bits of this that were our childhood, and so to me, it is talk about nostalgia. Talk
about a time capsule.
Yeah, this is the time capsule.
Do you know how many movies you reference? This is our childhood.
You know what? It is.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing, Mike. I mean, we do all movies.
We're bringing in movies that defined us. Not all the movies. The movies that defined us. We've got The Wizard. We've got
Hiding Out. Totally defined me. I really was a stockbroker. Hiding Out in grade school.
Hiding Out has a special place in my heart now because I consider it one of our better podcasts. But check out Hiding Out. Flicksanddicks.com. Yeah, it's on YouTube, all that shit.
You're welcome, Travis.
So to me, this is a very, very, very strong recommend.
A strong recommend.
A very strong recommend. Not just strong, very. Yeah. This is like when you list your car on Craigslist as excellent. All right?
And it really wasn't. Where he had,
yeah, exactly.
Hang on. He had wood screws holding that bumper on.
Would we say excellent?
Okay, well, no, you've got new, like new, excellent, and good. All right? There you go.
This is excellent?
Is this movie cheesy as hell?
Like new.
Yes, it is. The movie is cheesy as hell, but I do give it a strong recommend.
I have to say, when I watched this movie about 3 times, okay?
Recently,
yeah. It was on the second viewing for this podcast alone. Mm-hmm. Where I'm the second viewing halfway through, I'm sitting there going, I hate this movie.
Oh my God.
I'm not recommending this movie for jack shit. But then the second half, I'm like, oh my God, is this an allegory? Is this a fucking bedtime story? If that's the case, this movie's brilliant. I'm not saying Full Metal Jacket brilliant. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this movie's brilliant if it's going that direction, but I think it's got a lot of problems because it didn't translate. But if you're going to interpret it that way, not bad. Not bad, because it's a heightened reality. It's a heightened perilous situation. They're going to the city, and bad people are bad, and good people are good, and you've got the knight in shining armor. You've got a lot of stuff like that. It's a bedtime story.
Yeah, girls are strong.
Not bad for the
Don't
80s.
fuck with the babysitter.
Yeah, and guys are gentlemen. And
oh my God.
It's a weak recommend because of that.
Hang on. Here's another ripoff. License to Drive stole from this movie.
Oh, what do you got?
Don't fuck with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh.
Well, they got their one fuck in there. And this is PG-13, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
You had the chick from the DMV saying, don't fuck with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Damn.
The License to Drive really ripped off a lot of shit from this movie.
Didn't they also in License to Drive all duck down in the car when they drove past their parents?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't drive like that. I'm sorry.
But
you're going to go off the road.
In both movies.
License to Drive really did. Wow. They ripped off a lot of shit from Adventures in babysitting.
Driving movies where it's at. You know, just wacky adventures. Driving.
God, now we got to do Ferris Bueller's Day Off just to, see if there's any other parallels.
Well, we'll see about that.
We should do that.
With that, that was Adventures in Babysitting, directed by Chris Columbus, 1987.
Oh, hang on. Travis, did you give this movie a recommend? You led up to it, but you did not say.
I did say it was a weak recommend.
Oh, I missed that.
Strong recommend.
But what is recommended is flicksanddicks@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of us, be sure to check out our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, wherever you like to download your podcast. We want to give a huge shout out to recycle-bikeparts.com. If you need a spare bike part for your ride to get you going again, drop them a line. They'll give you a good deal. Make sure you say, I'm a dick, you'll get 10% off. And with that, I'm Travis.
This is Mike giving a solid recommend to Flicks and Dicks.
This is Lisa.
Take it easy. Nice.